in the last session, you guys traveled through the Moonbrush. Zaitari laid out the main 4 rules that she had learned through her research of what you should and should not do in the Feywild.
I also wrote them down into chat, so if you scroll up past all of our combat, they're there.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. The main ones were be polite to Fae, don't accept any gifts from one, don't give out your full name, and don't say thank you. Very simple.
Oh, and don't dance in fairy rings.
And don't dance in fairy rings.
Wait, don't say thank you?
Yeah, don't say thank you. It is.
You could say
taboo.
I appreciate something.
Yeah.
But you cannot say thank you. Does it extend to like thanks?
I avoided it.
I would avoid saying the word thanks. Basically, saying thank you implies a debt owed, so you shouldn't say it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I even avoided saying no thank you. Like, I was about to say it, but I'm like, wait. No. Don't say that.
Okay, so
Just say, I appreciate the offer, but I will have to say no.
Okay, so don't say thank you. Don't accept gifts. Be polite.
Don't say your full name.
Don't say full name. Okay, got it.
Alright. So you guys traveled and stayed on the path like it was advised for you to do so through the Moonbrush. During your journey, you encountered a bipedal hedgehog named Eldleman, who was looking for his whistle. You guys heard an argument between 2 goblins who were arguing over the ownership of a silver hammer. Eventually, it was decided on a coin flip. After walking through the forest for some odd hours and deciding it was time to rest, you guys found a nice spot behind some large mushrooms and that weren't in the fairy circle, and some bushes, and set Tilda's tiny hut there, and took watches. During these watches, you guys saw a group of antler-wearing little people herding groups of hairless guinea pigs. Eldleman had found his bone whistle and was serenading a group of bipedal hedgehogs that were walking down the path. And then the headless horseman came, spotted the weird...
Yeah, that was some bullshit.
Weird hut and decided to attack you guys. Because he was after a particular someone sent by a particular someone.
Fancy that.
Yeah.
You don't say.
Yeah. So, you guys eventually got your rest after you slew the horseman, and you were on your way when a little girl running from this ran in your direction and is pretty much using you as people shields at this point. And then we started combat. And I need to roll for the enemies.
Can you describe the girl again? Because I don't remember anything about her.
She appears to be maybe 4, maybe 5 years old.
She had some sort of elven heritage, right?
Yeah, she has very
indeterminate elven heritage.
Yeah, she has the pointed ears commonly associated with elves. You didn't get like a great observation of her because she was running past or went behind you guys and look, evil ghost lady. But her ears might be a little more prominent than an elves, but you might be able to check that out later. Just a plain off-white dress, bare feet. She looks like she's wearing some very, very simple, like, hemp jewelry on her wrists and ankles. Very pale. But, yeah, that's all you... She appears to be a child.
Now, we had completed the long rest before this happened, so everyone is...
Rest.
Yes.
Well, is everyone topped on everything, or...
Yes.
Okay.
Not if you're using spells or like Tilda's down one counter spell,
Yeah.
but other than that.
Which, by
did
the way,
anyone,
I agree with the decision not to do a arcane rest or anything like that.
Yeah, no arcane recovery.
Yeah.
did anyone use any spells for Bittersweet?
It should be on your sheet.
I
don't
ran
think so.
Bittersweet. I
Nothing's marked
turned
off.
into a giant scorpion for you.
Okay.
But I think that we've rested since then.
Yeah, we
so
took a short rest right after the battle because
Okay.
the only spell slots that I used were my warlock spell slots. So
Okay. So then I
used
got
just
that.
a couple, so I'm still good.
Okay, I'm good on everything
Since we short rested and leveled up, would our hit points be full? Or
Yeah.
okay.
yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to know because I've still got 79 hit points from last time, and now I have 84. So it looks like I'm down 5, but
Guys, who wants to guess how
Now
many
it's
hit points I
84.
have?
20. I don't know.
114.
Nice.
Nice. I'm at 120.
I'm at
84.
80.
That's pretty good, considering that I only have 3 levels of Barbarian.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
that I'm
yeah,
almost,
that's impressive.
Yeah, I'm almost at the same level as a fighter. Good.
Also, I just want to let you know that Scorpion was super useful because I just grappled 2 people like the whole time.
Yeah, you were. Bittersweet was double fisting off people.
I hope you're ready for what I intend to do today. So.
Oh, I'm excited. Druids are
Alright.
always, they always pull out fun stuff.
So,
Okay.
As we get started, since I appear to be
You are first.
okay first, quick question: Can
Mhm.
I make a Arcana or something kind of check to see if I recognize what this creature is,
Yes.
and it won't take up my action?
A quick look, and you can probably just yeah, I'll give you the Arcana.
Okay, all right. Ooh. Oh, very well.
You know exactly what this thing is.
She's
Okay.
making an Arcana check. Can I make an Arcana check?
If you wish to do so. You both know what this thing is.
You double know what this is.
You double
don't
know what this thing is. This is an entity known as, and it's very easy to tell because she resembles the entity she was in life. This is what is known as a witchfire.
Interesting.
A witchfire is a hag,
This?
yep,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want
that has died
Okay.
Oh, fuck.
and comes back as a ghost.
Okay.
Usually, these witchfires come about when a hag has not finished what they have wanted to do in life. Hideous plots, that kind of thing. They do still, as with a lot of undead who die and are not able to complete their task, they come back and continue to mimic their life in a way. So with most hags destroying all beauty in the world, etc., etc., etc.
Stealing children. That sort of thing.
Yeah, possibly.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sounds pretty legit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As my bonus action, I'm going to kind of like roll back my shoulders as I take out my swords. I'm going to say, Bittersweet. I don't know what form you're taking. I don't know what you're going to do, but whatever it is, you're going to kick this lady's ass, and you're going to do it really, really fucking good. And I'm going to give you bardic inspiration. And then I'm going to touch Raine, who's right in front of me, because I know she just went invisible, and I'm going to give her haste for my action.
Okay.
I thought you didn't have haste.
No, I have haste.
Oh, okay.
Melanie would be a beast with haste.
I decided not to get rid of it yet.
That sounds good to me.
All right. So
Melanie's. I don't even be better on Melanie because that +2 to AC, she's practically fucking unhittable.
do you want me to not give you haste?
No, I wasn't saying that. We got two people with haste.
I don't have it prepared today, but
I want all the crack dealers. If you could all just be sorcerers, like that would be great.
All right, so yeah, bardic inspiration to Bittersweet, haste on Raine, and that's going to be it. And I'm going to move a little bit, mostly, probably a little bit further back. I'm gonna unclump us. So
Okay.
hold on. Let's see. That looks perfect to me. Moving 25 feet right there. And that's my turn.
Okay. The Witchfire is going to. I need to get the range of this.
I'm just giving myself a little dot to remind myself I'm concentrating on something.
Okay. All right. She is going to. She is going to cast.
I think she's too far away for any of us to do anything about that.
Okay.
Yeah, 60 feet. Hang on. She is very far away.
Yeah.
So, yep. Go ahead.
All right. I need to get a token out.
I don't like that.
You're all right.
Yeah,
So
we're just in a big old ball of fun right here.
This is not her. This is just a marker of her spell.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's why I tried to move. I don't know if it was far away enough though.
See, aura. So there.
I swear to God, if you knocked me out of doing haste again.
Is Ronnie just like
So
curled up on
pissed.
the ground, just sucked all into his shell?
He has
Yeah.
Holy
sucked all
shit.
limbs
Dang
into
it.
the shell, and his AC is 26. So
Jesus fucking Christ.
She's gonna call lightning.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That could be nice.
I have something for this.
Alright. That point. That point is right there. Is going to make a dexterity saving throw.
Turtle protector.
Who needs to make a dex save?
All of
Everyone.
you.
All of us, yeah.
Oh, all of us?
Each with up to point. So that would be Bittersweet, Raine, and Ronnie.
My sheet's currently loading again because I
Okay.
accidentally
Yeah,
closed the
Bittersweet
tab.
and Raine.
I got-
Until
still
the
got it
start of my
all.
next turn, you guys have half cover from attacks. Just so you know. Because I'm going to use my turtle protector and fuck up the saving throw. So that's going to be great.
I still only got a 12.
I have disadvantage because I'm in a shell.
20.
Oh.
Why are you rolling? It's only 5 feet where the point is.
Oh, I thought you said everybody.
No. It's 5 feet from where the point is. So just Raine, Bittersweet.
Gotcha.
You don't have
Okay.
to roll. So Bittersweet and Ronnie failed. Raine, is fine. So or half. Okay, but Raine doesn't take any because of evasion.
The Rain and Bittersweet now have half cover against harmful attacks or effects while you're within 5 feet of me until the start of my next turn.
Nice.
So I'm going to throw my big ass turtle shell in front of you.
So that's only 16 points of lightning damage for those who did not save, which is Bittersweet
Oh.
and Ronnie.
How many points of lightning damage? I just didn't hear.
16.
16. If you
Oh,
didn't
okay.
save. If you saved, half. So 8.
Nice. That's fine.
Or none.
Or if you're
in
Rain, yeah, then. If you're Rain, then fuck you, magic.
Okay. And then she is going
Something
to.
Diane the storm.
She is going to. How smart is she? Yeah, she's fairly intelligent. She is going to stay on the other side. Behind. It's not really cover, but it's just like some low bushes over here. As if waiting for something. Rain.
Where's the child, by the way?
Is
Child's
that
right
them
here.
right here?
Yep.
My movement is 60.
Okay.
bonus action to move again. Another 60.
Rain, make a
And
perception
zoom.
check.
Shit. It's the bridge, isn't it?
No, it's not the bridge. Okay. You can easily see this. Where she had initially came from, through from the path on the other side, you see bright glowing lights quickly approaching.
Oh god.
Will-o-wisps?
So we got incoming. Bright yellow things. I don't know what the fuck they are.
All right.
Kind of in character.
Okay.
And I'll stab.
Okay.
Do I have advantage?
Uh, it goes.
Or would you like me to make a check towards my advantage? Because I might do something to counter it. Yeah.
I am. No, you do have advantage. All right, just had to check on something.
A constant struggle to decide whether.
Now there's a thing she has. All right, sneak attack. So you do indeed hit the ghostly ghost.
The ghostly ghost?
Yes, the ghostly ghost.
The
It does
ghostliest
not
ghost?
appear that the extra damage affects her. The fey damage.
Mm-hmm. Just engage far enough to get away. Can't dodge, as we've learned. I guess I'll just hit him again. Can't get far enough to hide, so we'll do a little damage.
Okay.
That should just be
9?
2.
2. Okay.
Because I don't get the offhand damage.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yep, and here we are.
Okay. Melanie.
All right. So Melanie is going to draw her sword, kind of roll her shoulders, and just grin. Just the most shit-eating
Oh god,
grin.
that's right. You got the thing
She
now.
is pumped. And she's just gonna
Oh, yes.
just
Forgot about that.
just jump. She just jumps across a goddamn river and just like superhero 3-point landing, which is horrible for her knees. And like her knee is like, oh Jesus, this is
You're gonna
bad.
get arthritis at like
And then
30.
she pops up and just hits her in the face. So I'm assuming if I'm here, I have flanking with Raine.
Yes.
All right.
You as you descend, so what essentially happens is the jump that you thought you were going to make is a lot higher than it is. Like you go
no.
straight into the air, pretty much zoom where Rain is, and decimate that corner of the bush that you're on right now.
It's like a new superhero getting used to their powers.
Yep.
And
I've got some leaves where there shouldn't be leaves. Oh, that's horrible. All right. I'm going to not do one of my attacks, so I can do Commander Strike for Rain. That doesn't need to be with advantage because there's no rolls for me.
Okay.
So Rain can do an attack. Nice.
Hit her again, honey.
Nice.
oh my god.
Oh, jeez. Would you get the sneak attack because you just did sneak attack?
Yep.
Well, yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
Okay.
that's how it's
Yeah.
rolled. It's once per turn.
Okay.
So if I were to do that again, like she wouldn't get sneak attack on my turn.
Okay. Let me just.
Also, she doesn't have another reaction. Oh, I also add a 1d,
Plus 12,
add 7 to that.
14.
Just add insult to injury.
plus
Woo.
25, plus
As I'm like, hit her again, and then
80
20
points.
a little bit.
29 plus 7.
Plus 7. Double the 7.
Alright, she's not looking so good.
I'd say
she's
so.
barely holding her form together.
I'm then gonna hit her twice.
Okay. The thunder damage doesn't do as much as you think it does.
But the slashing does?
Slashing is fine.
Well, it's
Magical
natural
weapon.
slashing damage,
Yeah.
so...
Alright.
So 20.
And then you said that there were things coming in the background that Raine warned us about, right?
Yeah, you decimate her?
Oh, I was gonna action search, but I guess I won't.
Yeah, that crit. Yeah, that. Yeah. That was a
no
crit.
need.
That was a crit.
So,
right?
what are you doing later?
Jesus.
I'm gonna be pulling these twigs out of my ass.
Want to join me?
They're so deep in there right now.
Really?
It's not good. I did not realize how fast I would come down, and so I wasn't prepared for the twigs.
Okay.
No one is.
Melanie,
so is there a body in front of us, or is it just like a ghost?
it's a ghost.
So, is there ectoplasm?
Just a big puddle of ectoplasm.
I don't know. Is there anything left of her? Or is
Not,
it just
not really. She kind of just dissipated. Literally. Yeah, pretty much dissipated.
Next time we should save some for the others, I guess.
Are you done?
We want them to feel important, you know.
Yeah. I'm not gonna action surge, so that's. I mean, actually, I have movement. So for my movement, I'm gonna go 5, 10, 15, 20, and I'm gonna stand right there, not quite on the bridge, just in case something crazy happens to the bridge. I don't know.
Okay. All right. So you see after your turn, the light comes up. So yes, they are indeed will-o-wisps. They will go right before Tilda because their dex is redonkulous.
Well, that's just rude.
It's it's pretty redundant. Anyway, so you see 3 of them. So 1, 2, 3. They're orbs. So you guys are the closest targets.
Do they look like normal will-o-wisps, or do they look souped up somehow?
They look like normal will-o-wisps.
Okay.
They're tiny orbs of light.
How would you know what the difference between a normal will-o-wisp and a souped-up one?
It's
Is
got
the-
rims.
That's fair.
And argue with that shit.
Nope.
Alright, so
I mean, it says so in the book.
2,
I would let it
Obviously.
hit me. I'd be like, look at those sweet spinning. Oh, ow.
Oh, fuck.
They've got gold-plated rims and one of those
It's not
racing,
24s.
racing things on the back.
A spoiler?
Spoiler.
Yeah,
Spoiler.
spoilers. Thank you.
The
Oh,
ones that with the pink dot are the ones that come out of invisibility. So before then they were attacking and having the sweet advantage of flanking and invisibility.
Ah.
Yes.
Hey, invisible buddy.
Oh, fuck.
So
Too many.
1, 2,
Don't like it.
3, 4,
Oh.
5, 6,
Oh, goodness. It's a party over here, guys.
7,
Ah!
8.
Just give me a second so I can get over there.
Honestly, just hit us in the AoE. Just nuke this from orbit and then res us afterwards because
I
this
do
is,
have Firestorm for today.
I mean, if
No.
it's a deck, it's good, you know?
Or I can
Oh
summon
my
some
god, there's
insects.
so many.
Or I can just run real
Yeah.
fast and turn / destroy undead.
All right, Rain, you have Displacer Cloak, so that
Yep.
just cancels out the ones that are on you. So it's just a straight roll for them.
Well, if it gets back to my turn, I can port myself over, and then
Nope.
fuck them up with Steel Wind Strike.
Rain, does a 17 hit?
No.
Okay. So the other one has disadvantage. Well, the crit hits.
I'd like to make a reroll that.
Okay. That will not hit. Alright, and for Melanie.
Disadvantage as well.
Okay. That won't hit. That won't hit. That one will hit with the straight roll. So you take.
It's not a
What was
gay roll.
the... What was it? Because my AC is 22. That's what I asked.
I crit.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fair.
The last one, the straight pink one, was just a straight roll because they had advantage coming out in invisibility. So you will take 10 points of lightning damage.
Okay.
They can
They
wear
just
us down
stab you
real
real
quick.
good.
And that's a disadvantage, and that was disadvantage. Okay, that's all 8 of them.
Well, everyone after the one hit me, they wouldn't have disadvantage anymore.
Okay, they still didn't roll high enough.
Okay.
They don't have really high. Just trust me on this. Tilda.
Tilda is going to cast Sickening Radiance.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a second. I will. It's a 30-foot radius, so
I love that spell.
hold Alt and
I almost TPK'd my party with my players with it once.
3, 4,
Nice.
5,
Medusa
6,
sorcerer, they had her surrounded, and she's like, "Nope,
5,
let me
6.
vomit radiance on you."
Damn it.
Okay, how many hit points does your dwarf have?
At level 6, I think he's sitting at 72.
Nice.
Nice.
It's a D8 plus 6 for
Yeah.
every hit point,
Oh,
every
Nice.
level up. My DM hates it.
I love that. I love
It's about
like,
there.
the
I will
bard
change
druid
it into
combo.
I will change it into a circle in a second.
Mhm.
Just let me cast it.
Alright.
So
Constitution.
yep. When a creature, I will give Rain my 18 for her con save. I trust Melanie to have that shit, hopefully.
DC is 19. Okay.
It's a constitution?
Yep. DC 19.
Nope.
Oh, I don't have
Nice.
advantage though. Hold on. 8 plus 5.
Oh, 17. Fuck.
What is the DC?
Yes.
19.
I'm gonna indomitable it.
Nope.
Do you want to just take the...
No. Okay, so the number of indomitables I have increased when I leveled up, but I
Nice.
would not have gotten them back yet. So I had one, I used it. I got a second one. I can use that one still, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just making sure because the count changed when it wasn't a long rest. So, so all right. Reroll. 27.
I gotta make this guy with an X.
With an 18, I just make it.
That one.
mean, that's good.
I got a
That
+1.
one,
There you
that
go.
one.
Oh yeah, I can't
That
wait.
one.
Thank you kindly.
This one's alive. Maybe.
Oh, wow.
Is it half?
Why did I even waste a spell slot today?
For the first time, it suffers 1 level of exhaustion.
I don't see
Doesn't-
failed on here.
Yeah, it doesn't say what it does if there's a success.
Then nothing happens. I
Nothing,
guess.
I
Yeah.
guess.
All right.
Which I feel like I thought they took half damage with.
Which
16.
is weird
Well-
because it's
Well, this one's alive.
a 4th level spell.
Also,
Yeah.
if any of them weren't already visible and they were in that visible now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, disintegrate also, if they pass the save, does nothing. So,
Okay.
but it does that big damage.
Would you like to move?
How does
I
this-
will move. Well, first of all, I will. Yeah, I'll move over here to the edge of the bridge on my broom. Just like 5 feet in the air, and I'll toss healing Melanie's way because I saw her get hit. Actually, I saw everyone get. Yeah, well.
Okay.
Give me a second.
The reason why is because it keeps happening. So, when the will-o-wisps start their turn there, they
Mhm.
have to make another con save.
Okay, I see.
Damage. That's why it has no half, because it persists. It's
Okay.
like something else that does that I
Spirit
can't
guardians.
remember. Right? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Oh.
it should have been when they started their turn.
Well, it's also when they enter the area for the first time, which just
Yeah.
like spirit guardians. It
Mm,
happens.
Okay.
Clock's fast, so.
all right, that makes sense to me. Sure.
Okay. Wanda healing word. Anything else?
Yeah, to Melanie, and nope, that's bonus action, and movement.
All right. Bittersweet. There is one will-o-wisp.
There was a single will-o-wisp. Bittersweet was all gearing up to do something cool.
I'm sorry.
But they look at the will-o-wisp and they sigh. And they take the longbow off their back. They're gonna fire at the will-o-wisp with the perfectly normal longbow.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better,
And
this.
this.
Oh,
Sails into the water.
They shrug. I was just like, Ronnie, I don't know if you can reach that far.
It's such a tale.
Ronnie from inside their shell is just like, it's okay, Bittersweet.
I'm gonna walk over to the, I'm gonna walk over to the child.
Let's just breathe. Let's practice our breathing exercises.
Okay, I'm gonna walk over to the child and check if they're okay.
Okay. She looks like she's terrified. Not
Sure.
of you.
Okay.
But at the fighting.
Yeah.
Like she
So, like,
doesn't.
this-
Yeah,
yeah.
she doesn't really notice you until you're like really close to her,
Yeah,
and she's just
this
looking
big
at you
cow
with these
face.
like wide brown eyes with like tears in them.
Yeah, this big cow face comes around the corner of the bush. Goes, hey, kiddo. How are you doing?
Eh.
That's okay. The fighting's almost done.
Ronnie,
And that's my turn.
would you
I
like to
unshell.
unshell?
I unshell. And I'm gonna actually join Bittersweet because this is what my plan was too. So my head pokes through the bushes. So there's a cow face and a turtle. We're gonna be just fine. The danger is past.
Ah. And
Zaitari
that's
gets the kill steal.
Zaitari.
Well, because I have Eldritch Blast, the thing that can go into forever. I'm just gonna stay right here and Eldritch Blast.
Oh, there's a baby.
There's always a baby outside.
that will hit.
That
Like,
seems
does it-
dangerous.
Does it live out there? Does it not ever go inside?
I mean,
And it
in my
dies.
building, we have like
Okay.
14 kids, so there's always
Oh.
a child outside.
It's like Zaitari even looking, it's kind of like offhand, like, whatever.
Well, I like to imagine when Zaitari casts her Eldritch Blast because she can't actually hit anything with her sword. She instead swings at the air. And so it's like blades of force. So I am looking, though, because then I would impose disadvantage on myself, and I don't want to do that. I want to kill it.
Okay.
And then I will, with a cool maneuver, sheathe my blades.
All right, we are out of combat.
Race back. Then I just run.
I'm going to attempt a tackle.
Alright.
Athletics.
Are you gonna try to counter that?
Yeah, I'm gonna try. I think I am, but let's
Well,
see.
you're out
Well,
of
you get
every
advantage
luck
on
point.
Dex because of haste,
Yeah.
so...
Nope.
You eat dirt
Tackle.
is what you do.
After tackling her, I'm just going to try to carry her back to the group. Like a sack of potatoes.
Well, in about, I don't know, I guess like 40...
Yeah,
seconds or
she's
something
gonna
like
get-
that. She gets paralyzed for 6 seconds.
I'm just imagining like the moment I tackle her is the moment that she like kind of goes like a little limp. I'm just like, oh shit, I hit
no.
her way too hard.
No, what I think what would really happen is when you try to put her down, that's when she gets... and so she just kind of, you just like end up
Eat shit
dropping her
again.
to the ground.
It's like when you're holding a cat, or when you're holding a dog and you think you're holding a cat, you kind of
Bold them.
be free.
Mhm.
Clunk. Just
Bittersweet holds holds a hand out to the child and says, "Sounds like it's done." Do you want
Ronnie's
to
doing
come
the
out?
same thing.
She looks
He
very
takes the child's
confused.
hand.
She looks very confused, looking at the both of you and looking at both hands.
You can ride on my back if you want. Just
I'm
big
gonna
turtle.
fly over, and in Sylvan, I'll say, why were they chasing you? Or why was that thing chasing you?
She appears to be thinking really hard.
So she understood the Sylvan?
She seems like she understood.
Does it seem like she's understanding common?
The common, not so much.
So
But
really,
does
she
she
just had
understand-
animals rambling at her in a
Does she
foreign
understand the
language.
intentions in my kind, wrinkled turtle face? I was supposed to. I was good at talking to people and convincing them to do shit.
By the way, I'm gonna cast True Seeing.
Okay. This is gonna be very interesting.
Yeah.
Fuck.
and then this is the point where Rain gets dropped down. Ow! And so, ow!
So there's a weird. First of all, you notice there's just like weird greenish aura around her, but that it's not emanating from her being. It seems to be emanating from something that's within her.
He's
And
a
then-
drug mule.
And then you see what appears to be a small silver bell. It's weird. It's when you do not have true seeing on, when you didn't have true seeing on, you see a little elven girl. When you have it on, it's like you're talking. For all intents and purposes, it appears you're talking to an object.
That's
Is it-
interesting.
Does it? Okay, so clarification: is it like a human-sized bell, or just like a?
It's a small silver bell, probably
So just like
Floating?
floating at this point. Yeah.
okay.
Can I make an Arcana check or something to see if I know
Yeah.
what
you
the
can,
hell that is?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
Not bad.
You're not
24.
exactly sure. The bell is definitely is or part of this child, but how you're talking to her and how she's communicating back, you're not entirely sure.
Okay. I'm not gonna say anything right now. I'm just waiting for her to figure out how to answer my question.
Yeah. So she's thinking very hard, and then she points to her mouth, and then she holds up one of her right hand,
Mm-hmm.
and she makes a motion of like flapping, like kind of how you make a puppet talk with her hand.
Okay.
And then
Yep.
she shakes her head.
Oh.
Well, I imagine it's difficult to speak when you're some sort of bell?
Oh, so we don't know yet what the reverse Beauty and the Beast trick is?
No. Not yet.
I just said it, though.
Yeah, some kind of bell.
Yeah, but we don't know why she's a
Like,
bell.
Battle of the Ball button.
We're going to call her Belle, though, I imagine.
So has she not said anything this whole time?
She has not. She has made sounds. She has
I
not.
literally just said, I imagine it's difficult to speak when you're some sort of bell. Did that
Can I make an
elicit any
insight
sort
check?
of reaction?
I want to see if the emotions she's showing are just like mimicry or if they're genuine.
Okay. When you
I mean,
said
I can't do anything right now.
yeah,
So.
when
Oh,
you
shit,
said
never mind.
she. I mean, she is. She seemed like she was scared. She wasn't mimicking that. She's now curious. And as soon as you said, whoa, did you say Belle in common or Sylvan?
Sylvan.
Sylvan. She.
Oh, yeah. Also,
she-
I think only I'm the only one who could probably understand that you were
You can
what
translate
you
from
said in Sylvan.
me
Yeah.
for the rest
she
of them.
she looks like she acknowledges that statement. It's a little difficult. You're just going by expressions that she's giving you, and like I said, she has not said any words.
Okay.
I have a bunch of paper in my pack. I pull it out and give her an ink and quill, which
Mhm.
I have.
After Tilda says that and is handing
And I
over.
say, "Can you write in
Pen it.
Sylvan?"
She takes the quill, and she holds it like a baby would hold a crayon. So just the fist around the
Right.
quill. And she draws. She isn't writing words. She looks like she's drawing.
Okay.
And
As
she
she's
draws.
doing that-
Yeah, she draws what looks like a really bad stick figure,
Mm-hmm.
and like with a big mouth. You think, with big teeth, and then she draws a smaller stick figure, and points to the smaller stick figure and points to herself and points to the bigger stick figure and points to where you guys killed the witchfire.
Was she trying
Okay.
to? I'll say in Sylvan. Was she trying to eat you, capture you?
She looks like she's nodding to the first one.
Okay.
Eat
Do you? Is there somewhere we can take you?
She draws on the piece of paper and draws a very crude house.
Do you know where this house is?
She starts looking around.
Did you lose your ability to speak, or have you never been able to speak?
She's making some sort of noise.
Here, I'll hold up my hand, and I'll hold one finger up for have you never been able to speak, or two fingers up. Have you lost your ability to speak?
She points to the one finger.
Okay, never been
Okay.
able to speak.
Could you find your way home on your own, I think?
She looks like she's looking around the forest very confused.
Do you know
Where
the
are you
city
from?
of...
She gestures to the woods around her.
Do you know the city
Okay.
of... where are we going? Sinestra?
Simelstra.
Simelstra.
Semelstra. Sinestra is the person that we're trying to avoid.
That's right.
The queen of the summer court, right?
They all
Yes.
sound so similar, you know?
They do.
They do like their straws around here.
Silmestra is a city.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So does she know the city of Silmestra?
She shakes her head.
Can I do like a religion or a history check?
Mm-hmm.
Just to see if I've ever heard of this sort of thing or if I know what kind of creature she is?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, good
Yeah,
luck.
I mean, would it be religion or history?
Probably your best bet at this point would be history.
All right, I need a nat 20, guys, but you know what? You never know if you don't ask. Still
You
okay.
tried.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fortunately, you're not sure.
Mm-hmm.
She if you allow her to keep the quill, she looks like she thinks for a moment, and then she draws a really big, what looks like to be a mushroom on the paper, and she circles on the mushroom's cap, and she points to it, and she makes the motion like tall, big. Like she's just stretching her arms as wide as she
Okay.
can, and she points to the mushroom.
Big mushroom.
A big mushroom.
Mm.
Is that where you live?
I'm all
Mhm.
for helping this little girl and everything, but aren't we supposed to be sticking to the path?
Yes. That's why I was going to ask, Bittersweet, do you think you could shape change into maybe a giant eagle and see if you can spot the house from above?
I can try.
That way we
French
won't
fry,
go
don't lay on my dice.
wandering aimlessly through this massive and terrifying and deadly forest.
I could go up and take a look as
so.
well with you.
I think
I
that might
have
be
a-
wise.
A conjuring spell, but it's one of my bigger ones. I can conjure something to help her out.
We can do that if this doesn't work out.
Yeah, I'd rather not. It's all the juice.
Does someone still have the never-ending rope?
I do.
I suggest you tie one end of it to my leg, so that way I can find my way back to you easily.
I hand the rope to you.
Okay.
Should we tie it once you've changed?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's still my leg, no matter what shape I'm in.
Yes, but your
But
leg
your-
will change size, darling.
Yes, your ankle might be a little bit different. So
Mm.
if you want to change, I will go ahead and tie the...
Do you think it'd be worthwhile for me to give her true sight?
Do you mind if I hitch a ride?
That's
Bittersweet?
fine.
I could
You
always just
can-
fly up on my broom.
Well,
I
all
have
three of
sight
you,
going.
can go up and look.
You can keep talking.
You know what?
I would-
Never mind. I will take one end of the never-ending rope and just kick off on my broom and just fly up, directly up.
Okay.
I shrug.
Okay. You fly up
I'm
above
looking for a big mushroom.
trees, above the tree line.
Hmm
I
and-
grab the other end of the rope. By the
Okay.
way.
And you're looking around, and about maybe a third of a mile off, there is a giant mushroom that is yellow with red dots. About southwest of where you guys are. Just only a third of a mile.
Is it on the path?
It's very hard to tell where the path goes from here.
Sure.
Because like the trees are so heavily covered.
Okay, let me rephrase my question then. Is it in the direction that we are going?
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll try to stick to the path until we can't.
And then we just let the kid go.
Well, she
Okay.
might be able to. I mean, depending on how big this mushroom is, she might be able to see it.
Mm.
Yeah, and the other option is that we get into the portable hole and we fly there with Tilda and the little girl on the broom, Bittersweet shape changing and carrying somebody else, and then Raine carrying everybody else in the hole.
I think we should just follow the path and
Yeah.
see when we get close if we can
I-
see the way there.
I come
Oh no,
back
I
down.
totally agree with that.
I come back down and I ask the girl, yellow top with red dots in Sylvan.
She nods.
And I say to everyone else in common, it's southwest here. If we follow the path, we might... It's in the direction that we're going.
All right.
We might
While
as well
she
let the
was-
bell follow us.
While she was flying and scouting, can Ronnie have taken that time to do his best to start weighing, like setting points in his mind, since he was a navigator
Mm-hmm.
on the sea, to start like setting like a really steady sky map to help guide everyone? Just so we have some as reliable as possible navigation in the Feywild.
Well, the problem is like the tree cover is so like if you're trying to navigate through this like by sky, it's very hard to see the sky from where you are, because the tree cover is so thick. I mean,
Can I just start doing whatever I can see?
Yeah.
And like any kind of like winds and just like, you know, getting my bearings.
Mhm.
Start to familiarize myself with the surroundings.
If Ronnie is visibly doing this, like looking around and taking
He's
note
not
of what's
subtle.
around, Melanie
He's
will
stupid
go
and
ahead
clumsy, so he's like
and-
craning his head around.
Melanie will aid with her cartography skills.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I'll just be like, I'll work with Ronnie and see if we can kind of take some notes and draw like a rudimentary map and whatnot.
You're Etrian Odysseying this.
Seriously.
Obscure video game joke.
No, I got it. I agree. That's accurate.
Darren's giving me disadvantage for the rest of the game.
No. This is why I'm like sighing. I just wanted to touch. Thank you.
I had forgotten to ask if I could buy some navigator's tools while we were in a shop.
Oh.
Oh, you don't have them?
They don't come with the background because they're 50 gold.
Oh,
Very expensive.
Buddy,
For a basic ass like artisan tool set sort of thing, they're expensive.
seriously. All right, whatever. I'm just gonna have to go around.
She's like, it's hot. It's too hot. This desk might be cooler.
There's a floor made of wood.
Eh,
oh no, it's fine. Coda is insisting on laying on my entire torso while I'm sitting in my chair.
oh,
Lovely.
So I have to
I will-
lean back to accommodate him.
Well, obviously, what else are you gonna do? Be a monster and not let the cat sit on you?
I mean, maybe.
All All right, so the plan is following the path until you may see the mushroom.
Well, we can base we could always send Tilda back up.
Yeah, we can fly a Tilda balloon.
We could.
Happened whether you wanted it to or not.
Oh boy.
The
Sure.
balloon is inevitable. Embrace the balloon.
I only have true sight for an hour though, so let's get going.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like you could probably just pop up as needed.
Yeah.
Like, if we go further than it feels like we should have, you can just be like, hold up, guys.
Okay. So many cats. Okay.
You've done this to yourself, Derry.
I know, and I want more. Leomar I have a geek shrine where I keep like all my nice dice and like all my geeky stuff, and like Leomar was in the bookshelf, almost knocking down my megalodon tooth.
Aww.
Leomar's like, I am geeky stuff too. Love me.
But now he's just
Where's
staring
my
at something.
shrine? Yeah.
Freaking house is their shrine. That's what it is. Alright, so...
That's not enough.
Alright, so you guys walk on the path for... a little bit.
Yeah, by the way, I would have taken my quill and ink back at the very least.
Okay. While you guys were like scouting, she was like drawing more pictures of like flowers and like animals and
Yeah, I
pretty
just
much
like
anything.
pluck that from her
Hmm.
and say, all right, that's enough. Come along.
All right, and she'll follow you guys. She picks the
I'm imagining
occasional
that-
she picks the occasional flower along the way.
I'm
Sometimes
imagining whatever children are outside Kay's window are the noises that this girl makes.
Every once in a while,
Sorry.
she comes across a plant or a pebble. She looks at it, and then she stuffs it in her mouth.
Okay.
And then
I mean,
she
I'm not gonna
spits.
tell her no.
And then she spits it back out when it visibly doesn't look like it tastes good.
Does she actually seem to enjoy any of them?
Some of them.
Huh. Interesting.
Ronny looks really confused. And he just leans over to Bittersweet and he just kind of whispers, "That's not a normal kid thing to do. That's like a dog or a cat thing to do."
She's not a child. She's a belle.
It's not a normal bell thing to do either.
Fair.
I'll give you that.
Is there a regular bell thing to do? Is that a
Ring.
thing?
Mostly, yeah, they're
Yeah, I would say chime.
Sit there until someone makes you do something else. Bells don't have any agency because they're items.
Oh, this one has a little bit.
I'm gonna.
Also, was that Ronny? Because that's a little smart for Ronny.
Look, I gotta learn a lot of things to keep my men in line and motivated. So you learn some words, and you learn the context to use them.
I am gonna scoop the bell child up into my arms and blow a raspberry on her stomach.
She giggles.
So
And then
she
I'm
can
gonna-
laugh.
And then I'm gonna pop her on my shoulder and carry her
Yeah.
so she can see further.
All right. She tugs on your ears a little bit too hard, but other than that, she's okay.
Yeah. I let her steer me as she wants.
Just don't let her steer you off the path. Oh my
No.
god.
I'm not going off the path.
Just to give more entertainment to this bell child, I'm going to use minor illusion to do fun stuff like butterflies and sparkly things. Small rainbows in hands.
Oh, she is definitely distracted now.
Yeah, I'll make like clouds, and then like a rainbow will appear in the clouds, and it'll explode. It's butterflies.
Every once in a while, she tries to catch your illusions and almost falls off of Bittersweet.
Anywho. So as we're
I
walking,
mean, I kind of lean over to Melanie like, the least dangerous thing I could give her is probably a dagger.
I think that she's probably fine. I mean, she's got a lot going on right now, honestly.
Overstimulation.
Mm. And then from the minor illusion, after the butterflies, I'm gonna make it the butterflies kind of coalesce, and it's gonna look like Bittersweet walking with the little girl on top, just walking in front of her face.
just like a little little version of it.
Yeah, a
It's
little
like a
miniature
little
version
stick
of what's
figure
happening.
version.
That's cute.
So you guys walk for a good 20-25 minutes. When Bittersweet, you notice that the tugging on your
Mm-hmm.
ears have stopped. She's not like holding them really tight anymore. She looks like she's starting to sniff the air.
Good. You've got a splitting headache at this point,
Okay.
I'm sure.
Bittersweet likes kids.
No, I know, but just the
Yeah, but-
constant tugging of your ears would
Oh.
probably give you a headache.
Yeah, their ears are a little sore, but you know, they're gonna let's sort of like swing her down off their shoulders, and sort of like hold them out in front of them, and just kind of like raise their eyebrows, like questioningly.
She points her nose, and then she points in a direction into the forest, and she says, "Ah!"
I turn her, still holding her in that direction, and I say, "She wants to go that way."
How long have we been walking?
About
Do I still-
20-25 minutes.
Okay, great. I give the one end of the rope to literally anyone.
I'll
I'll
take
hold
it.
on to it.
Take the other
We
end.
share. We share.
Okay, we can share.
Take
I'm
the other end
probably-
and
I'm wearing armor. I'm probably heavier than Zaitari.
fly myself up there
Okay.
to check to see if the mushroom is any closer.
She seems to have been pointing in the direction of the mushroom because it is pretty close now.
Huh. I fly back down and I say in Sylvan to the girl, if I were to take you on my broom and fly you over to the mushroom, would that be amenable to you?
She blinks owlishly at the word amenable.
Would that be all right?
She tugs on Bittersweet's hand.
I'm afraid, darling, that we must keep to the path. But if I put you on the broom and take this rope with me and you, then I will still be able to get back to the pub. And I'd be able to drop you off at your home.
She sighs, kind of like, okay.
I know, Bittersweet's fun. But I am afraid that our time together is coming to a close. And I repeat the plan in common to the rest of everybody.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. Bittersweet sets her down and ruffles the top of her hair and says, "Be good."
While that's all happening, Tilda's taking the rope and like tying it around her middle and tying it around the broom.
We're so paranoid.
While you're doing this, she and she
Oh,
looks like
fuck.
she's starting to fall asleep.
Yeah. Alright, dear. Belle. Dear. Time to wake up! I cannot get you to your home without some sort of direction as to which home we're going to. I kind of like tap her on the cheek.
Okay. I would like to crouch down in front of her and look at her face, and I am going to insight check this performance.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Like, do
Ouch.
well.
No, it's absolute. Oh, no, I don't have inspiration anymore. Never mind.
I mean, 15's not bad.
She seems pretty tired. Tilda, you probably still have true seeing up since it's only been
Yeah.
probably 20, 25
Right.
minutes. Okay, this is what you start seeing. The aura around her is starting to flicker. And just as she's again closing her eyes, her childlike form disappears.
Oh, fuck.
And a bell falls to the ground.
That's...
Weird.
You know, I knew she was a belle. That's not the problem. It's just odd that she kind of is no longer a belle.
What
That is
just
weird,
happened?
isn't it?
Do we just like throw it in the direction of the mushroom now? Is that or...
Honestly,
Airdrop.
Just
Airdropper.
the bell.
honestly, I wouldn't, be against that, or against just dropping the bell off on top of the mushroom and saying, good luck. It's a matter of,
I'm starting to wonder if this is a bit of a trap.
oh, that's what I've been... I mean, the moment she ran out, and that's why I put True Seeing on.
I would recommend just throwing it instead of dropping it on top of. Keeping a little bit of distance.
Honestly, I mean, it's possible that the spell faded and this is not a trap, so why don't we just gently place it by the side of the path? You know, we don't need to just fling it into the woods. That seems like a
Alright.
little bit.
Just
you
put
know.
it mushroom
before-
bird and we'll
before
call it
we-
a day.
Before we decide to throw this bell child into the woods, can we do something really quick? Since she's now just a bell, can we take 10 minutes, Tilda, and maybe you cast Identify on the bell? It might give us more of something that we can work with.
All right.
I would second
I
that
can-
as a request. That seems like it could be useful to know.
Well,
just
I
keep
can
an eye
take
out.
10 minutes, or I can take 1. I will take 1 minute.
I feel like we have time if you want to take 10. I don't
Yes.
think that...
I mean, we'll all keep watch. It'll be fine.
All right. I will cast it as a ritual then,
Okay.
and also be like climbing out of the harness that I made, the rope, like
Guys.
just one hand on the bell.
Guys, I just want to give you an update on my cat. I'm rubbing his tummy, and he's too fat to be able to do anything about it.
Oh,
So upset. Because
Martin.
he's laying on his back and he doesn't want to like get up or move it or anything.
Yeah.
So I'm rubbing his tummy and he's like trying to like his legs aren't long enough for him to be able to reach and it would require him moving. So because he doesn't want to move, he's just kind of like struggling to reach at me over his paunch.
Wow.
He's 14 pounds. He's not actually that fat.
Okay, so I take 10 minutes or 11 minutes or however long it takes
Okay.
to cast Identify.
Okay. So you So when you pick up the bell to examine it,
No.
You have to
I
touch
left
something
it
to
on.
identify.
I know, but I would like to leave it on the ground.
Okay, you leave it
I'm
on the
just
ground.
touching
Touch it with a fingertip.
Exactly.
All right,
I
wait.
don't want to pick that shit up.
Okay, so when you bend down to touch the object, you hear a very faint snoring coming from it.
Oh, she fell asleep. Holy shit.
Well, yeah, we knew that. That's fine. I'm just gonna keep touching the bell and casting Identify and like climbing out of the harness.
All right. How do I describe this with Identify? I need to get the definition for this. 1 sec.
I'm gonna say this is probably enchant
Probably.
of some kind.
Okay. This is going to sound very weird,
Of course it is.
but from your Identify,
Mm-hmm.
you think that the bell itself is actually a spirit.
Okay.
Aww.
You're not sure what kind of spirit. It's as if this object is literally a person, like a Pokemon. I
Yep.
guess that's the closest thing I can attribute it to. Like, this is not an
She's a
normal
Chan-Chan.
object. Oh god. We were talking about Pokemon earlier. I'm attempting a Nuzlocke through Pokemon White.
Nice.
It's horrible. I just died once already. And then I lost my dog.
No. I lost my dog.
Anyway.
Nothing more heartbreaking
is-
than a Nuzlocke run.
Is Tilda telling us what she finds here?
Yeah. I lean back and I kind of. It seems to be some sort of spirit. I don't know why or how. What it's a spirit of, except perhaps it was the spirit of a child eaten by the hag or the hag thing that we fought earlier.
Does Ronny know of any like religious practices or orders that do this kind of thing with their dead?
You can roll a religion check.
Say conservatively, the answer is no,
Whew. Sorry.
because Ronnie's the dumbest cleric.
Okay. Can I
Yeah,
roll
well,
because
that's
this
actually
would
pretty good.
can I roll a religion check because this would be considered like a kind of undead?
Sure.
Can I roll a history check or something to
Oh!
see if... Jesus.
Okay, so for Bittersweet, what again?
To see if Tilda knows anything, but never mind.
Yeah, what were you trying to
Well, if she's a spirit, this falls under the purview of being undead.
Mm-hmm.
So is this the sort of thing that like Bittersweet would have heard of in like folklore about spirits, especially concerning the Feywild? Like, do they know anything about like these kinds of object spirits? Because everything that they know would have been passed down to them through their clan.
Here's the thing. There are stories of certain objects that have been loved and cared for a long time that may manifest things of this nature.
Okay.
But usually they're just fairy tales.
Well, we're in the home of the fairies.
Yeah.
So I guess I very gently pick the bell up
Mm-hmm.
and look and see if there's an inscription anywhere.
So you pick the bell up. Inside the bell itself, there are a series of numbers, which you begin to realize they're dates.
Okay. Are they recent ones or?
No, they are going past probably a good 200 years.
Could I make a history check to see around what time in history the dates were?
Sure.
She's very old and very well loved.
200 years, it's hard to say. Let me see. 200 years would roughly put you 25. Probably sometime around the attempted conquering of Pandera by Empress Yuli of the once was the Oculus, which turned into Gadarn.
Right.
Around that time period.
She's probably just a casualty of that war. Empress Yuli's war.
It's at this point, Tilda, your true seeing picks something up.
Oh, fuck. What?
There is an elven woman who actually focusing two, coming towards you, that are currently using the invisibility spell.
So I can see them too.
Yeah, you can see them as well.
Very quietly and like kind of putting a hand over my mouth and like just kind of scratching as if I'm scratching my nose, but you know, like I'm just trying to hide my mouth. I say, we have two incoming elven women off to whatever side they're coming from.
Okay.
Are the elven women speaking to each other at all, or are they staying silent?
And are they watching us?
They are watching you. They are watching you with very great concern, actually.
Are they watching us or are they looking at the bell?
They're looking at the
What
bell.
direction did they come from?
Okay.
They came in the direction of the mushroom.
Yeah.
Okay. Bittersweet, already holding the bell, sort of like protectively, is holding it against their chest.
Yeah.
We can
Zaitari's
see
gonna-
you, darlings.
Can I
Okay.
insight check them?
What are you trying to discern?
I want to know if they're hostile towards us. Like, are they coming towards us with the intent to attack, or are they just trying to, like, investigate the situation?
Sure. Roll an insight check.
Oh my god.
Aren't you just said, sure, roll initiative?
They seem to be doing. They're not coming at you with violent intent for sure, but they are very interested in what you're doing.
So in Sylvan,
Yep.
I say, we can see you, darlings. And I like look right at them.
Okay.
Me and all my eyes on my robe look right at them.
Okay. They will
That's
both.
Creepy as
That
hell.
is creepy as fuck, yeah, but
They will both.
I mean, it's a
effective.
lot less creepy because I'm wearing it tied around my neck like a towel cape.
no,
I don't know
that's
if it
still
makes-
pretty creepy.
That's
Yeah.
I mean, that's bad. But anyways, all right. So they will both drop invisibility. They'll put their hands up, as in, you know, we don't have any
Don't shoot.
Yeah.
weaponry. And
Is this one of yours?
one of them has very long silver hair that almost reaches to the ground. Her eyes are a very pale blue. And she's not wearing that much clothing. It's mostly more like a sheer dress with a few flowers here and there. You think it's same? The other one with black hair is dressed very similarly, and the one with the silvery hair says, "We just want our daughter back."
In Sylvan?
In
Insight.
Sylvan.
Oh shit, never mind.
And yeah, I'd like to insight as well.
She seems to be genuine.
What's her name?
Her name is Giselle.
Pretty. I say in common, they claim that this one is their daughter.
Well,
Would you happen to
honestly,
I
Would
believe
you
them.
happen to speak common?
The other one says, not good?
I'll say very quietly. Well, it beats throwing her into the woods. So
It does.
I have a question though. Has she always been a belle?
The one with the black hair, says yes. She always was Belle. Was child, become.
I say in Sylvan. You can just tell me in Sylvan and I'll translate it, darling.
She tells you that she's what is known as a Sukomogame.
Sure.
I'll put it in the chat.
Thank
Mogame.
Okay.
The silver-haired woman explains that the bell, the actual bell, was an heirloom in her family, and it wasn't very well taken care of until it became in her possession. And she took very good care of it, cleaned it, polished it, and she had been doing so for about roughly 100 years.
Dang.
And when that happens, sometimes objects like that take on a life of their own. She explains that she was only born she only became an actual person about 2 years ago, right around the 100-year mark. And she's been a child when she wasn't sleeping. She gets tired very easily. And have been looking for her for the past couple of hours, worrying that she might fall asleep and they wouldn't be able to find her. And yeah.
What happens if we ring her?
You can't just ring a child. Honestly.
The black-haired woman is kind of
Shut up, Bryn. You're not here.
smiles and says the last time she had enough energy and she rang her, she accidentally kicked her in the face when she woke up. But if she doesn't but the silver-haired woman explained if she doesn't have enough energy currently, she'll probably just stay a belle until she has gathered herself enough to hold her child form to wake up.
I say to Bittersweet in common, I believe that this is their daughter. They seem rather trustworthy. They haven't attacked us. And I believe them when they say that this is their child.
I think
They
it'll be
called
safe
her
to leave.
a Sukomogami. Game. I'm trying, okay?
Sukumo
No,
Kami.
I mean-
99 spirits, 99 gods.
I
It's
don't know what
actual-
that
it's
means.
It's actual folklore. That's what it means.
Okay,
It is actually, it's an actual Japanese, like,
I believe you.
yeah. Okay.
I just don't know anything about it, so I'm like, okay. But
Okay.
are you going to give the bell back
Yeah,
to
okay. Bittersweet sort of like looks down at the bell, which is probably like still softly snoring. And then like their ears kind of droop when they sigh, and they like lift the bell up and they press their nose against it, and then they walk forward and hold it out
All right.
towards the two women.
The woman with the black hair will hold two of her hands out, and when you drop the bell in your
Does
hand,
she have more than 2 hands?
no, she doesn't have more than 2 hands.
Okay.
And she'll bring it very close to her chest and kiss the top of the bell, and just hold it tight to her chest. She looks like she's beginning to cry. And the silver-haired woman, like, pats her head. And she says in Sylvan, apologies. I am Sen. This is Marie. We are sorry if our daughter caused any trouble, any distraction. She is but 2 years old. She is very curious, and she slipped away.
Keep a very close eye on her, darlings. We found her being chased by a hag. A witch fire. Hag.
When Sen hears that, she immediately goes pale.
I was going to say even paler than she was.
Even paler than she was, and Mary is still clutching the bell to her chest, and Sen says, "Was she harmed in any way? Is she hurt?"
She seems fine, but she did eat a lot of flowers on the way here. She didn't seem to like any of them, but she did eat them.
Flowers and pebbles.
Oh, there were rocks? I missed the rocks.
No, she spit the rocks out.
Oh, okay, well.
No, she...
Oh, did she? No, she ate some of them. She spit some of them out. There you
Yeah.
go.
Just like the flowers.
Sen says she has a habit of putting lots of things in her mouth. I don't think because she is a spirit and that's a bell. I don't know if it's harmful. Never seemed to be. I think.
What was that?
We appreciate what you have done.
Wait a second. No. Did the Fae say thank you
Not
to
fully.
me? Okay.
Just think, and then they stop themselves.
Yeah. She says, so if you don't mind me asking, are you trying to get out of the Moonbrush? Many of your kind tend to try to get out of the Moonbrush.
We have a destination.
Well.
And we were told to stay on the path. Which was why getting your daughter to your mushroom home was a bit of a problem that we were attempting to decipher.
Well, again, I appreciate you bringing our daughter home to us. I do find it strange that you are headed towards the rolling plains of thunder, though. It's very dangerous there. You must be careful.
What's the name of the city we're trying to get to again?
Semelstra.
Semelstra. Well, do you know an easier way to get to Semelstra that isn't death?
Well, Semelstra's to the south. The rolling plains of thunder are to the west. You're going you're in the direction you are headed. You are headed the wrong way. My dear.
Oh yeah.
Melanie, you're not
Melanie's just
sure.
happy. Melanie's just happy to see two lesbians who've adopted a child.
Yeah, I'm just so excited. I'm like, goddamn Raine, we can just get a bell. This is perfect.
Just take care of that for 100 years, it'll be fine.
I can polish a bell. We got this.
All of you it seems like she is very genuine right now.
All right, how did we? Just because I don't remember. Mel, I'm sure remembers because it was like earlier today, or maybe yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah,
Who
yesterday.
gave us the directions?
One of the ice maidens.
Yeah,
And
those
Angela-
people that I pissed
Angela
off.
confirmed it. It's not like it was bad
confirmed
info. Angelo.
Yeah, but he's not like a native.
No, but he's been at the Feywild many times. So,
Interesting.
then how do you suggest that we get to Semelstra?
I realize she sounds mean and sarcastic, but it's a pretty valid concern, actually, now that we know we're going the wrong way. Because
By the way, I am speaking in Sylvan.
Okay.
I'm not. I don't know that shit.
Yeah, no. Between me and Zaitari, assume that one of us is.
Yeah, translating, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not talking in Goblin, however, because I feel like that'd be.
That would be rude. Yes.
Probably.
Be polite to the Fae.
the person who probably gave you the advice is true. The advice is true to a certain extent, but the path you are currently on is one that is often walked by, how do I say this? There are many paths through the Moonbrush. Ones you can see physically, like the one you are on, and then ones that are hidden for only those who seek them out. The one you are on will eventually take you to the city of Rangers. However, it will take you a very, very long time to reach there, and I do not think you want to be in our realm for very long.
No, not
No.
really.
There is a way to get you through faster. It will require one task, and it's a simple one. If you would hear me out.
Well, you're already speaking, so do go
I was
on.
about to say, Tilda just kind of makes a go on gesture.
Alright. We can take you to see Timber Little Gourd. Timber Little Gourd is in what you probably know as a very large speaking tree.
A treant.
One that does not move from his place.
Okay.
His branches have the ability to guide those who seek a proper destination out of the Moonbrush. And the only thing he asks in return is to hear his story. I
What-
just pray, if you wish to do this, that it's not too late.
Why?
How long is this story?
The story is not the long part. The part that is my concern. The part that's my concern is Timber is or has been dying, and I have visited him on occasion to ease his suffering, but he grows worse.
But he can get us to Semelstra or Semelstra.
His His branches can guide you there. Yes.
I do have
Wait,
one question.
Hmm.
Are we going to ride a tree?
No, because
Oh.
he only stays in one spot.
Oh.
Are you familiar at all with a place named Chateau Faria?
Yes. That is very there. That is west. Yes, west of here. Very far west. What even to the very west, the most furthest west until you reach the ocean.
Fucking A.
Would
Just really
Uh,
far west, guys. Just really super fucking far west.
I have
Yeah.
not been there myself. The last celebration that I attended was probably 75 years ago.
and would your tree friend be able to direct us there?
He would be, if, like I said, if you have the destination in mind, his branches will point you in that direction.
And is
And all we have to do is listen to story.
One story is usually the fare to pay.
and
Wait, do we have to tell him the story, or
No,
we
he
have to
tells
listen?
you just have to listen.
All right.
last thing
Mm.
is this Chateau Faria in the same direction as Shemelstra, or no?
No, Semelstra, you need to go south. It's a little out of the way, but with the distance you are traveling, it shouldn't be a problem if you were to go out of the Moonbrush to the town of Rangers, then to Chateau Faria.
Can you tell us more about Semelstra?
Semelstra, from the last I heard, let me see.
Do we maybe want to walk and talk while
We can do that. Do you
while
want
you're
us
telling
to?
us this? It's just that if we have a time crunch with this timber,
Of course.
Person.
Let's guide you. So they get on the path and they're walking and talking. She tells you that Semestra is a city that the inhabitants have allowed it to retreat back into the wilderness. So it's not a city by normal standards, but it's pretty much a ruined city where nature has reclaimed it. It is a city of rangers. Their towers she describes broken towers that barely rise above the thick overgrowth of the forest. The stands of trees that rise within the roofless mansions and the many streets that are impassable beneath the thick overgrowth. But it's not an overbearing overgrowth. It's because of this, it's kind of like harmonious. The leader of the city is a gentleman named Lord Calnon Thray. So I'll type his name.
by the way, is it Shimelstra or Simelstra?
Shimelstra?
Okay.
Yeah, I thought I said it wrong when I said it before.
He himself, who leads these rangers, is, some call him one of the greatest Eladrin rangers, of all of them, in fact. There are many outsiders that seek his teachings because he is so well renowned. And in fact, the most odd thing about Simelstra is that it actually goes into the plane that you're from at midnight for 1 hour. And that's usually when the people of the material plane seek him out, because he is actually the city actually phases into the material plane.
Well, that could
Are
be
you
our way
telling me
home.
that we could have simply gone to wherever this city appears in the material plane in order to find this city. We didn't have to come to Feywild place.
Possibly, says Sen. I hear
Well-
the Howling Forest is a very dangerous place where you're from, so I assumed it would be still a
Well-
very dangerous journey.
Here, two things.
Yeah, we were
Fair
told
enough.
about various places that were dangerous to get to. I'm guessing this is one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one, very dangerous. Two, don't remember finding out any particular information about that pathway into the Feywild. And three, it is not our ultimate destination. Speaking of,
Mm.
you two keep leading the way. We're gonna have a little bit of a powwow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to huddle everybody near me
As we're walking.
as we're walking. Well, we're just gonna, make a little bit of a group while they're leading us. Somebody who the people who have very high passive perception can keep an eye and make sure they're not leading us to our doom.
We're basically in a rugby scrum.
So I guess really the main question is, what's the point of going to Shemelstra? I don't see a reason to go there. Our ultimate goal was to get there to get to the chateau, but if this tree can get us to the chateau, I don't see what the point is.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
The point was to get to Shatra in order to find a guide to the chateau. But I suppose if the tree can get us there.
I mean, we won't have. Okay, that's right. We were going there for a guide.
Mm-hmm.
So we could technically go there and still get a guide. And more so, I'm thinking that the guide may serve as our way into the chateau. But if we go there on our own, we might just have to fight our way in completely. Which, I mean, I don't mind. But you can see how it goes. Also, I picked up a handy new spell that'll let us look like something else.
I will say.
Oh, I have that one. But it generally doesn't work against people with true sight, such as the Fae.
Well, of course, but from my understanding, only very powerful Fae have true sight. Unless we're going to be running into the Queen of Air and Darkness herself, I don't see us having too much of a problem getting in.
Just throwing this out there. It might be useful to have a guide for some of the very specific dangers that we might pass through. So, if we're going through an area, and by the way, there might be lava just spew out of nowhere for no apparent reason, a guide might know that. So even though the tree could show us where to go, a guide might be able to make sure that we were taking a safe route.
Hey,
there
sweetie.
and back.
Brandon. Brandon.
Fair point.
Brandon.
Also, I've forgotten.
Can you
Tilda
feed French
would probably
fry?
remember, but I've forgotten. What are we going to the chateau for?
To kill Eva.
Okay, that's where she's
Again.
hiding,
Yeah. As far as we know, yes.
and she's working for Sinestra, right?
Correct.
Okay. Like, is Sinestra her patron? Is that what's
Basically,
okay?
And Sinestra wants to replace the Raven Queen.
correct.
Okay.
Do we have tuning forks from the material plane and the Feywild?
Yes.
Okay, because I can plane shift us now.
I have
Seems easy.
Should anything go really bad, you got 2 plane shift options, and I do have that word of recall set up.
I have both in my bag of holding.
Were we supposed to meet Angela after we're done?
Nope.
No, we were on
No.
our way for the way.
We
We were
were
on
on
our way
our-
for the way
yeah.
back.
Yeah, because
Alright.
he didn't know how long his business was going to take.
Right. Okay.
All right. So, shall we take a vote? I feel like that's the best way to handle this. Who all is for going to Shemelstra?
Shemelstra probably, that's like a proper city, right? Like we could do more shopping there?
I mean, it is technically a city, but it's also been reclaimed by a lot of the forest.
I imagine we would be able to do
So who
some
knows?
supplying.
Some mercury, phosphorus, and powdered diamond and opal.
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Okay.
Specifically, we might be able to get horses or some other.
I'm too big for
Transport.
horses.
Well,
maybe
we're
we
in the
can-
Feywild. You never know.
Bittersweet
Anyways.
sort of experimentally eyes Ronnie as if sizing them up.
He's close to 500 pounds.
I think we
Mm.
should
Yeah, we'll see.
talk to the tree.
Well,
This is
I don't.
something we wouldn't have found out. I don't think they'd be expecting someone to do a
I-
favor and find a
I
shorter
would
route.
not be against a chance to get more supplies. Now that
I
I'm a little bit
think-
stronger, I can raise people from the dead a lot better than I used to before.
It sounds so fucking ominous.
Congratulations.
I think that
We've
we
got a
should still have
Timeline
a
of a
guide.
century now. A guide and some supplies.
All right, so I'm hearing Ronnie, Bittersweet.
I agree that a guide could be useful. As I said, to circumnavigate dangers, it could. However, I am also of the mind that this is sort of your quest, and I would be fine if you made the decision on your own, as long as you're not, really, really endangering us.
I understand, but I'm not going to force everybody to just go guns blazing to the chateau place. Because I don't know how dangerous it is.
We
Anyways,
can. If that's what you want to do, we'll back you up. I'll back you up.
I mean,
Rain-
on one hand,
good.
a guide does seem useful. On the other hand, we had a guide in the Underdark, and while Minsk was a very strong person,
We
he
wouldn't have been able to navigate without him.
sure.
Could we ask the tree about dangers?
I don't know. The tree seems like they're on their last legs. I think we're going to be able to listen to the story and pick where we want to go, and that's it.
Last roots, as it were.
No,
Sorry.
no, it was good.
My concern is not even so much for finding the way, but for all of the things that we might miss if we don't have a native of this plane helping us. There are intricacies of social custom that we might mess up beyond the rules we already know. And
That is true.
And who knows what sort of mistake might affect our ability to travel.
I am new to this particular realm of adventuring, but are there typical social customs associated with going to kill people specifically?
No, not really.
As a
Alright.
matter of fact.
Oh, apparently in the Feywild there is a custom.
I think you're supposed to bring wine.
Wine. Alright, I don't have any wine.
All right, Rain, you've been awfully quiet. What's your opinion?
Two fucking idiots talking to each other. I love it.
The cow and the turtle.
Hello?
We're an Aesop
Hey.
fable.
Hey, there you are.
Oh, I did say something, but
Have you been muted this whole time?
I don't think no, because I didn't unmute myself unless it just unmuted itself on its own.
No,
and
because we did.
anyway,
did
I
hear...
said
So
I just said I think we should go listen to the tree, and if it's a faster way, this is not something they would be expecting. I think cutting time off, the element of surprise coming in from an unexpected direction, it's invaluable.
Now, this tree, if we go to the tree and they pop us on over, it's gonna be pretty quick, right?
we don't necessarily know. I would imagine that we're probably going to be doing some kind of walking, and then
Do we
close.
wanna-
I'm not expecting to show up in the chateau.
do we want to start working on a plan to approach it now before we get to the tree, or do we want to wait till we're at the tree?
Well, it depends on where we're going that the tree is going to take us.
That's why I wanted to vote.
But
and I
that's-
can't decide.
Why,
That's what I'm asking. Is
Zaitari.
if we're going to the chateau, do we want to talk game plan now?
Zaitari,
Hmm.
it's your decision. Honestly, we've all made several good points, and I can understand how the difficult decision for you, but this is your voice we're attempting to get. So you have to be decisive.
Okay. I'm gonna walk back up to
Did you say we need to hear her voice?
the two ladies. Yes,
Mhm.
really quick. Whose names I
Let
can't
your
remember.
voice ring out.
Yes.
Sen and
Yeah,
Marie.
True. Haha.
yeah. Sen and Mary.
Sing out, Louise.
Okay. Excuse me, Sen.
Yes.
Mary. If we were, obviously, we're going to your tree friend. If we were to actually be able to utilize his transportation services, do you know how quickly the transportation would take and where exactly we would pop out? Would it be right at the location, or would we still need to do a little bit of traveling?
The area, if you are indeed trying to get to Selmelstra, his branches can lead you to the quickest way there. If you're trying to get to Chateau Faria, that's a little more complicated. Most of the archfey in our world have magic that protects from such teleportations you are accustomed to, and also within usually 10 miles of their abodes, they have eyes.
Wonderful. I appreciate the information. I'm gonna slow back down to catch up with the rest of the group.
This is why most of the denizens of that don't belong to any particular faction of the Feywild generally stay within the Moonbrush.
I mean, it makes sense.
We do not feel like we have to be a part of their, I believe the word is politics.
So it's a hippie commune. I don't say that out loud.
Okay.
I will be right back though. Supporting Zaitari in whatever decision she makes.
All right. Well, I'm probably gonna end up deciding in the moment. So let us get to the tree
Okay.
while I think about it, because I can't make I can't make this decision right now.
Okay.
Choices.
Yeah.
So
I was hoping there would be a clear, like, hey, we all want to go to Schimelstra. We all want to go to the chateau. You know, so.
all right. So you
Unfortunately,
It's
that
your
was the case.
decision, hun.
Yeah.
they bring you to a beautiful clearing, surrounded by what looks like willow trees with leaves made of gold. In the middle of this clearing is a very, not so much tall tree, because you've seen the trees of this forest and you've seen the redwoods of Malat. It's more of wide and probably average. We're thinking biggest oak tree you've seen length. There is no breeze or wind in this clearing, but the tree in the middle seems to sway on its own. Its branches are not covered in as many leaves as you think one tree would have, especially compared to the golden willows around you. Actually, it looks like many of the leaves on this particular tree are starting to wilt. There is a face on the tree. The large eyes in the trunk are closed. You can almost make out a mouth of the tree, and doesn't move until you get about 30 feet away. You see the lids of the eyes start to rise up, not all the way, kind of more in a sleepy, as if the tree's waking from a sleeping pose. San, Mari, Sen, speaking in Sylvan, will tell Timber that she has brought guests, and they seek his counsel. They do this because they brought them to him because they helped get Giselle back, and you see that
They could have called her Jabelle.
you see the branches move a little bit, and Timber says, "Is Giselle here?" And Mary at this point will, kiss the bell that she's been holding the bell close to her chest this whole time, and she will very quietly put it on the ground. You see that same green aura start coming out of the bell, and slowly coalesce into a form, and Giselle is back to her elven child form, and she stretches and yawns. And when she realizes where she is, and who she's with, she quickly gives Mary and Sen a big hug and runs over to Timber, and smiling, she just plops herself at the bottom, at the base of where his roots begin from his trunk, and leans up and smiles and puts her head to his to the bark, and Timber chuckles and brings a low-hanging branch near Giselle and pats her head in a way with his as softly as he can with the tips of his branches. He will turn his attention to the rest of you, and he will say in common, "You seek my counsel, the Eladrin women have told me. What do you need from me?"
I suppose you need to be smart and head to Shemelstra.
I see. Well, they must have told you that the fare for taking one of my branches that will guide you there is a story that I will tell you. And that is all.
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Before the story, just kind of curious, why are you dying?
I am old, my dear. That is simply all. I am not immortal like many of the creatures in this forest. And my time is coming to an end. That is simply all.
Nods and understanding. Creaky old man solidarity.
Okay, well, I feel like a story for a branch is a reasonable trade.
Because I can... If there's more information you seek, I can... Because you helped my dear little ones, I am willing to tell you all I know about any place that you are going to.
Chateau Feria.
I was about to say, what do you know of area?
Let his dialogue tree load.
You seek the home
A literal
of
dialogue.
the Queen of Air and Darkness.
Maybe.
I see.
Unfortunately.
Hmm.
Maybe.
It's fairly obvious that we are at this point, Zaitari, my dear.
Maybe.
I mean, Serafina or whatever.
Zaitari, it's fine. Just don't say the last.
I don't know the last part.
Oh my god. Okay, clearly we all need to have some sort of share when we get back to the material plane.
Evidently.
Well,
You never say it. Anyway, yes.
it is as with any Fey Lord or Fey Lady's abode, it is very well protected. She has her armies, she has her closest confidants, she has rooms and traps and magic of unusual nature.
Anything specific, darling?
You see him quietly close his eyes for a moment. Well, there are a few things that you must be wary of when you go there. If she is indeed in her lair, and I call that a lair, then there are several things you have to be aware of. Within 10 miles of her home, many of the shadows I've heard come to life there. She is the queen of night and magic, the queen of air and darkness for a reason. She uses the darkness to her will. If you tread on that on her land, she will know you are there, and she probably knows who you are. If you
Do you just quick question? Do you mean physically tread on her land? Like if we float over top of it, she won't? Or do you just mean like in her vicinity?
Anywhere the shadow touches, she will see you.
Cool.
And if it touches nowhere because there's a lot of light?
I like that we're looking for the weirdest loophole.
I mean, we do have multiple sources of things that can make daylight, so...
Yeah, no shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the question. Do you
It
become?
is.
You make.
It is.
If we make light, do we become invisible to her?
Maybe
Like a
to
reverse
her.
invisibility.
Maybe to her magic, but to her minions, probably not.
Well, I mean...
That's a pretty fair assessment.
That's better than nothing.
Yeah, it's better than nothing.
But if you are within her vicinity, say you are in the same room as her, she literally can will the darkness to overpower light.
Cool.
Many of a being in the stories I've heard have witnessed sources of their torches physically dim when they are in her presence.
We do have a magic sword that is really, really bright. So thank you for that advice. We will definitely keep it under consideration and keep that sword handy.
Excuse me, what did you say?
It's really, really bright, right?
No.
No?
Melanie tripped up.
Oh no.
You see him raise an eyebrow. My dear, you are very fortunate.
That I have a bright sword. I don't know.
You said thank you.
You guys hear the tree.
I guess I'm just. You know what it was? It was all that goddamn night training. You and your fancy schmancy morals brought this upon us.
We are not in the material plane, darling.
Just say, I am...
There are several ways to
gratitude, appreciation. Just keep those in mind.
Express gratitude.
Right.
Or
Well,
just a firm nod or handshake.
obviously, things happen. Anyway,
There's an acorn that falls on your head, Melanie.
Oh, Jesus.
I
Uh-oh.
eat it.
What?
Timber
I'm gonna
says,
eat it.
"You are very strange people."
No, that's just her.
Oh, I see.
Actually, would you like us to plant one of these somewhere? I'm sorry that I ate that one. I don't know if maybe you had planned for it. Specifically, it was your child. I do apologize for eating it. However, would you like us to plant you somewhere?
It doesn't exactly work that way.
Oh, okay.
Please
But
ignore
I
her, and do
appreciate the
continue.
offer. Where was I? But yeah, I have heard stories where she will literally form walls of shadows around individuals and have them be taken away deeper into her lair.
All right, Jamelstra it is. We'll do some planning when we get there.
And then even when you get there, and even if you face her, she herself employs very strong magic. Without question.
Well, obviously. No offense. Just,
None taken.
do you know of any weaknesses for her? Any times she may be off her guard?
She might be a little distracted currently.
Or ways we could sneak into her chateau? Something.
Why would she be distracted currently?
He will motion his branches off to the side where there's a group of willow trees. And underneath one of the willow trees, there is an emaciated elven creature who is clearly dead.
Oh.
Is that new?
Recently, some of her agents have walked into the Moonbrush. Some of the dryads took care of that one. I do not like it when the archfey lords and ladies are in my part of the wood.
Were you able to find out why they were here?
It seems, from what I have heard and what the dryads have told me, it seems the entire Feywild is all in a flurry. And it is in response of something Sinestra is currently doing. There are shifts in power that I can even feel in my roots beneath this earth. Power that should not be going a certain direction. Power that will throw everything here off balance.
Are you particularly attached to that body?
Oh my god.
What
I don't
is
wish to disrespect.
what is the question within the question, sir?
Can I have its head?
We could just do it here. We don't have to take it with
I
us.
don't have it ready right now.
I think we should
Oh,
just take
okay.
it
We
with
would
us.
have to take it.
I don't mind. I can stick it in one of the pockets of the bag of holding.
Don't mind. I have no use for it unless it was to turn into fertilizer, but the rest of the body can easily do that, or be fed to a corpse plant.
I just do not wish to cause any disrespect or offense.
That is fine, sir. You may take the head.
Alright, I only have a spear for a blade.
I
Does
can
anyone
help
have
you out with
something
this. Yeah, I've got
Thank
this.
you. I don't want to shred it with my claws. That seems a little barbaric. So
Don't worry about it.
While they're beheading
I'll have a little chat tomorrow.
dead elf, and I will offer my bag to put, to carry it.
Since he didn't seem to care about anything but the sweet, sweet nutrients in that flesh, I am going to rifle through his pockets.
Okay.
I'm flashing.
I'm not
back when I
taking
played it.
anything. I'm cataloging the item and then maybe taking something.
Okay.
I was a grave cleric for a while, and I had a chest of holding where you could walk into it. It was like a little room, and I had a defleshing process, and I just had like skulls on the walls, and I kept it secret from the rest of the party members. And when they found out,
As
they
you
set me
should
down
have.
and staged an intervention.
That was appropriate. That was
Which
an
is-
appropriate response.
Probably good because I was also going to turn into a zombie farm because I could just store bodies in there,
Jesus
and
Christ.
they wouldn't let me.
That's
I love
for
the way
best.
your mind works.
Thank you.
Okay. Give me a second, and I will tell you everything you find.
It does make me think of, while she's looking at that list, it makes Futurama.
You just totally cut out.
Oh, I'll shake my thing. The head museum in Futurama is what I thought.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, my party was not happy with me, but it was effective. I got a lot of information. So I had enough
DM
heads I
was
could
just
just like,
annoyed by the end of it.
oh, Matt's my good friend, and he kind of accepts now that I live to torture him because I have a 6th level druid with over 70 hit points now. And if he dies, my backup character is a centaur monk named Cool Matt.
What you need to do is make a centaur cleric, so it's the centaur for disease control.
I would get kicked out by everyone else, but Cool Matt is acceptable.
Is your plan to just donkey kick everyone with your unarmed?
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah. Just it's all donkey kicks and tied over until we can become the all Eldrin Bard group we were meant to be.
Oh my goodness. That would be
Alright.
terrible.
So you're rifling through his pockets. You're decapitating. Anybody else
Bittersweet.
doing anything?
Yeah,
Oh.
I want to ask
Oh.
Tree Friend.
Maybe I have been a bad influence on Melanie.
Do you have any recommendations on who we should speak to in Shemelstra?
Well, of course, Kalnan is your best bet. He knows the area the best, and
Is he amenable to speaking with outsiders?
he is. Yes, he has the most contacts with outsiders because of the training the legendary training he is said to give them.
Yeah, that's true. And is he hard to speak to? I should say, is it difficult to get an audience?
It is not difficult to get an audience with Kalnan. However, what exactly do you seek from him?
A guide.
He
A
keeps
guide to the chateau.
For that, you might have to pay him a great favor.
Great.
What sort of favor might he ask?
I don't know. He might ask you to perform a task that even his rangers cannot accomplish. He
What
is.
is it with rangers and asking us to do things?
Hmm.
I thought that was
We
supposed
need
to be
find
like
somebody
a
that
fairy
hates
thing.
her a lot.
Wasn't that a fairy thing that they like being owed?
Yes, but
So
also,
it's a cultural norm.
but we've also had other rangers ask favors of us.
I haven't had too much experience with them. Surprisingly, you don't really need a ranger on a boat.
That
Nope,
does
you really
make
don't.
sense.
But really, while I'm over here and I'm just like hacking the head, if we found somebody that didn't like the person we're going after, that could act as a guide, they might have reason to do it cheaper.
True, are there any enemies?
Well, if you count the other arch lords and ladies of the court,
Oh, yes.
of course, there's them.
But I don't really have time to go to the mountains right now.
There are several lands you will pass along the way because her lair is the farthest west.
Oh, well.
In fact, you will pass the kingdom of the the Bear Kingdom, where the Bear King resides. You will pass you will just be north of the Witching Hour, the place where Nick Nevin makes her own home. And then next to there are the Riverlands, where the River King resides. So yes, you will pass lands where there are individuals that don't have any love for Sinestro.
Speaking of that witching hour area,
Mm.
are there any towns or things within there?
There are
that
no
might
towns.
exist?
The closest town you will pass through that is west of Somalstra is Bjornhelm. Bjornhelm is one of the cities that the Bear King holds dear to his kingdom. He himself is lower on the proverbial totem pole of the court.
So it's if we
but-
were to be heading west
Mhm.
after Shamelstra, we would go through
you would
Bear King's lands.
Yes, his
He's
name.
never-
So the city in question is Bjornhem,
Okay.
just south of the Golden Vale, which is directly west of Samalsha.
Okay. And so it would be Bear King,
Bear King,
Witch Queen, River King,
River
and
King.
then Queen of Air and Darkness.
Yes, she is west, the most west. That she is at the coast of the Merc Sea.
Okay.
The Mercy.
Merc.
Oh. I thought you were having like some fun with us there.
If you know the comedian, I know what anyways.
I thought it was just a play on words
no.
for mercy.
Nope, the Merc Sea.
Nah.
I have a question.
Yes.
The story that is the price of passage to Shimelstra. May I ask how long it shall take?
It will not take long. I only keep you here for about 10 of your minutes, I believe.
Unfortunate.
I have longer ones if you wish to hear them.
I
think a shorter story would be best. No, some of us would like to get back to the material plane before the end of the century.
True.
I could literally die while he tells a story.
Are you two quite done with that body?
I just need the head. I don't know what all this fuss is about.
What all did I find in the pockets?
All right, hold on. Let me give you the list. So, you find a leather sack. It has 3 vials of antitoxin.
Oh shit! I need to actually write this down.
Yeah, hold on. I'll put it in the regular chat.
Oh, okay. I don't have to write it. Never mind.
All right, and they look like they are maybe each. You also find a leather girdle.
Like Spanx?
Oh, I'm gonna.
It might be magical.
A wide belt.
It's a wide belt.
Oh, okay.
It's
so
a
not
belt.
Spanx.
No, not. No.
It's a waist cincher for dudes.
Spanx. Okay.
I like
And
the idea of like fantasy leather Spanx, though, just super, super tight, stiff leather.
No, thank you.
Timber will say, "I'm afraid you won't find too much of value on the deceased. The dryads do tend to like the shinier materials."
Oh, I was mostly just curious. Any clues about him? I didn't really. I mean, I've got money.
I can
Not
ask
a
his
lot, but
name
some.
tomorrow.
Yeah, but people can lie. He might have inscribed his name on his little Spanx here.
Okay,
The dead
anyways,
cannot lie.
please do come over so that we may listen to the story and go to Shemelstra.
Sure, sure.
All right. Um, so Timber, once you all are seated and listening, regales you of the tale of the sad queen. There was once a great king in the Feywild. He had everything he wanted. He had rare treasures. He had a beautiful palace, fine horses, the bravest warriors, and his people loved him. But the one thing he lacked is a wife. So one day he gathered 7 of his most trusted warriors, saddled his strongest horse, and departed in search of a wife. They traveled for many moons, and they called in at great palaces and cities along the way, meeting many, many beautiful princesses and great ladies. But none of these ladies caught his fancy. One day, after a long day's travel, they arrived at a lake, and they decided to make camp there. When he after they set up camp, he went by the lake's edge and heard beautiful singing. And on a boat floating on the lake was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. He had beckoned her to come onto shore, and his warriors helped the woman out of the boat and invited her to join them for supper. The king had stated the purpose of his quest and asked the lady if there was any reason why she could not travel back with him to his palace to be his wife. Unfortunately, the poor woman was somewhat taken back. She said to him, "You wish to marry me?" she asked, "when I am a complete stranger to you." However, the king was adamant, and he told her that she would make him very proud if she consented to be his wife. He promised her a life of luxury and comfort, made servants to see to her every need, and his own undying, lifelong devotion, if only she would agree to be his wife. She bowed her head and said yes. And she said, "Yes, I shall be happy to accept your offer of marriage." So they traveled back, and in the days before and after the marriage, the king did notice one thing about his beloved. She would not smile. She had impressed the court with her grace and beauty, but not once did she smile. He tried everything in his power to make him smile, and the king asked if there was anything he could do, but she told him not to worry. It was a matter of time. He still tried, but to no avail. In fact, he didn't even know much about her past. The only thing that he knew about her was that she had come from a foreign land. One day, one of the courtiers had a suggestion. They would pretend that the castle was being attacked, but it was to be a ruse.
How does that make somebody smile? Sorry, continue.
So that evening after supper, the king and queen were together in their bedroom. The queen was brushing her hair, and the king was practicing his calligraphy when the door burst open and a courtier appeared, apparently out of breath. His dress was disheveled, and he shouted that an army of foreign warriors was preparing to ram the gate. The king jumped up, his ink and brushes scattering all over the floor tiles. He threw up his arms in the air and shouted for his warriors and his guards. When the courtier had entered the room, the queen had turned to her husband, and now seeing the expression on his face, she suddenly burst out laughing. She covered her mouth with both hands. The king was overjoyed. It had worked. She laughed. and then he confessed to his wife the trick he had played on her, and to his great relief she smiled again at this revelation. However, the next day the queen had reverted back to her sad demeanor. The king once again tried all the tricks he knew to make her smile, but to no avail. Several days passed, and the king himself was becoming very depressed, coming to the belief perhaps there was something in his wife's past of such great unhappiness that would never make her be able to forget. As he was watching his wife read a book of poems, suddenly there was a large bang on the door, and the room room to the door was thrown open, and the same courtier appeared, out of breath, waving his arms and shouting, "There was..." What's that sound? That's my dog hacking a fur ball. Hold on.
Yeah.
What?
Her dog hacking up a fur ball.
Yeah, since when does she have a dog?
I think maybe there might be a dog in the story, and that's why Freudian
Yeah.
slip, potentially.
Maybe?
Sorry, that was my cat hacking a fur ball.
Why did you say dog?
I don't know why I said dog.
Did you catch him? Did you catch him in time?
No, he stopped.
Okay.
He was like going he and sneezing at the same time.
Charming.
Yeah, it was really weird. I was hearing some sounds and I was just like, what is that noise? Oh, it's him. Anyways, so watching what suddenly there's a loud bang. The courtier appeared out of breath, waving his arms and shouting that there was a foreign army of foreign warriors at the gate, and they were readying to fire. The king shook his head, walked up to the courtier, and took his arms. "My good man," he said, "you mean well, but it won't work a second time." But the courtier continued, "No, sire, this time the enemy really is here." The man was telling the truth. The king stepped outside, and the sound of ballista smashing into palace walls. He called out to his guard, but it was already too late. The enemy warriors were already in the palace, killing everyone they came across. Half a dozen of them came running down the hall just then and slayed the king and his faithful courtier. They spared the queen, and the victorious warlord who proclaimed himself the new king at the end of the battle took her as his queen. And he ends the story.
Asshole.
That's the end of the.
Yep. Yes, he says.
Can I do like a history to see if it sounds familiar at all? Like,
Sure.
if it sounds like something that happened in the history of Pondera,
Sure.
you know.
Yeah, they're similar stories, but not exactly one of those. He did mention that it was a Fey king, so...
I have a question.
Hmm.
Why was it funny? You know, when they weren't attacked, and she laughed.
You know how sometimes you feel so relieved that you just laugh?
Yeah, but
think
she
that must be
she
it.
laughed before she knew it was a ruse. She laughed when she thought they were being attacked. So is she just a psychopath?
Your
People
friend...
do odd things when they're afraid.
Your friend has motioning to Bittersweet, has a point. She laughed the first time out of relief. She didn't laugh the second time because she thought she was being tricked again.
Oh, so she laughed after she found out it was a trick.
So you need a branch.
While we're on the topic of trying to recall things, I did do a lot of Fey-based readings. Can I try to make an Arcana check?
Sure.
All right. I'd cast Enhance Ability on myself. If I can?
Yeah, sure.
All right. I'm going to give myself advantage on intelligence checks.
I don't know where, but we just felt an earthquake up here a couple minutes ago. Trying to find the information on it. Not very,
Ooh.
just taking. But
Yeah,
California,
no.
man.
Wasn't there
Freaking
one?
six. There, yeah, there was a 6.5
Yesterday,
one.
yeah. So it's probably related to that, I imagine.
Oh wow, it's fucking
But I'm
terrible.
not close to that.
Well, didn't you have and oh my god, what's the word? Aftershocks earlier today too?
I didn't feel them, but we
No?
don't get excited by much.
Fair enough.
It's like, oh, it's a 6.6. Whoop-de-doo, Probably when it's
Californians
real.
fear no death. Living in Southern California is its own form of death, so you don't fear it.
True. We
But
got a whopping 10.
I say this as someone who was born. I was born in Southern California.
Hmm.
I know my people.
Anyways, you don't recall any like stories like that, Zaitari.
Yeah, I figured.
But I'm really just thrown by this whole story. Was there a point?
Does there-
Matilda, can you
Why
remember?
didn't she smile? Who was she? Who was he? Was she like a fortune teller? And she knew that they were going to be attacked in like whatever amount of time. And she's like, oh, this is funny because it's not happening yet. No, 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 no. I don't get it.
I don't know. Tilda, can you make any recollections?
Not every story has a point. Some
Can
things
I-
just are.
Can I make an Arcana check to see if I remember anything from any other fairy stories like this?
Yeah, sure.
I do know that there are stories without a point, but if you're telling us a story as a payment, then I'm assuming he wants us to know for a reason. It's not just like,
necessarily.
I just feel like having a chat. Oh, wait, were you just feeling like having a chat? Because that's cool.
It's also the
Jesus
payment.
Christ, Melanie.
On the ship, we would tell stories a lot to keep the men busy. Not because there was a point, but just to shut them up.
Yeah, but because it was a payment, that's what's throwing me. It seems like it would be something that we needed to hear, or
Maybe
he
he
needed
just
to
hasn't
tell.
told the story.
You
yet.
also
Well,
might just be attributing more meaning to this than there actually is.
He's right here. Which of us is right?
At that point, another acorn like sails across the air and like clunks you on the top at the top of the head.
I would like to make a dex save to attempt to catch it.
Okay.
Also, I
Let me
made
put my
a
nail polish brush
20 Arcana check.
You don't recall any stories.
Motherfucker.
You catch the acorn and you see where it came from. It came from Giselle.
I saw that. You're adorable. I am going to take this with me and I'm going to plant it back home. Ha! Ha.
Giselle looks very confused.
Since she doesn't speak common.
We do appreciate the wonderful story, but I do believe we probably should be on our way now.
I suppose you
Was
should.
there sort of point to the story, or was it just to be told?
It was a story that had to be told.
Very good. There we go.
Bittersweet is kind of looking up in awe, vague awe at this incredibly ancient creature. And they say, someday I will be not even an eighth of how old you are, and I will be at the end of my life. And I hope that I have stories to tell as well.
I mutter to Raine, I hope they're better stories.
Ronnie looks visibly uncomfortable.
Stop being fucking rude to
I
the
muttered
goddamn
that. I
Fae.
muttered it. I did not say it loud enough for anyone to hear. It was a whisper.
Anyways.
And the other questions were valid questions. I just don't understand what was going on in the story.
Timber glances at Giselle and he says to her, "Giselle, dear, can you pick out a branch for them?" And Giselle nods and he lowers his branches and she looks around and she grabs one of them and then she shakes her head and then she grabs another and she looks at it and she smiles, and then she very carefully snaps the branch. Tibber doesn't look like he feels any pain, and she quietly brings it over to Bittersweet and holds it out to them.
Bittersweet bends down and takes the branch and says, "Thank you."
Just merely tell it where you want to go, and it will take you to the straightest path there.
We appreciate General. Timba.
You
You're
cut out a
very,
whole lot.
yeah.
Oh,
I
I'm
know.
sorry.
You are very welcome.
Well, I said I appreciate your generosity. Or we appreciate your generosity.
Please tell Kalnon that I said goodbye.
I'll
Of
nod.
course.
I do love talking to individuals from the prime material plane.
Even when they don't know their manners.
I'm sorry that I asked questions. I really honestly think that it's pretty cool to hear a story from a giant tree that's super old.
I was talking about the other thing, but that's fine.
What other thing?
Oh my fucking god.
Where I ate the acorn?
No, where you said thank you.
I'll just
Okay, but
rub my
that's not
temples.
rude.
It is
just-
here.
No, it's not rude. It implies a debt owed, which means I owe them. It's putting
Right,
me in
it's-
their debt.
Melanie, I think you should stop talking now.
What?
It's taboo, right? It's
Yeah.
Well, next time I'll just say fuck you very much.
Sometimes you do better by learning by not talking.
I don't not talk, my dear. I'm sorry. You'll find that out.
Have you tried recently?
No. Ever.
Earnestly.
Nope. Nope.
Let's work on that. How about we work on that then? Let's
Tell
try
you what,
listening.
while we're talking, I will tell you the story about my friend who swallowed the fish when he
No,
fell.
we're going to work on
I'm
you.
taking the branch and I'm going to say
100% not
Shemelstra.
going to.
All right. It's well, okay. So the branch starts vibrating in your hands,
do
and
we all have to like hang on to her?
and it starts. It doesn't like pull you, but it starts at, like tugging in a particular direction.
Everyone crowd around Zaitari.
Yeah, everybody follow
It's
me.
just a dowsing rod, right? I mean,
We don't know. It could zoom us all the way to Shemelstra.
I don't think we're getting a zoom. I think we're getting a dowsing rod. We'll see.
You should arrive if it's taking you right. If you're going right to Samelstra, it should take you 2 days travel to get there.
Again, our kindest gratitude.
And if you do encounter Sinestra,
I'll be sure to flip her one off for you.
much appreciated.
I'm going to, right before we leave, I am going to pick something small and tasty out of my rations, like, I don't know, good granola. I don't know what I have. And I'm going to go over to Jasmine. I don't remember the name.
Giselle.
Giselle, thank you. I'm going to go over to Giselle, and I'm going to kind of crouch down and say, you should try this. It's much better than most of those flowers that you ate.
She cautiously looks at it. She looks at her moms. They nod, and she will shove it into her mouth.
You're adorable. And then I just leave.
I like the idea that she just shoves all of this stuff into her mouth and then later she just like corks it up like a hairball, but it's all completely whole. It's all completely whole and untouched and like completely dry because she's not human.
I like the idea
Like-
of owl pellets.
When she goes
Oh.
to sleep, you just lift up the bell and there's just like bunches of stuff
She
underneath
Yeah,
the
that's
bell.
what I was thinking. Yeah. So you just
She
lift
turns
up the
back
bell and
into a
everything
bell.
comes out.
She turns back into a bell and everything just falls out of the bell.
It's like doing the ghost in Caspery, and it's just
Mhm.
falling to the floor.
I hated that scene in Casper because I was like, that food looked so good.
I know.
And I was just like, this is all going to waste. I'm so upset.
Yeah, it annoyed me as well. I totally know what you mean.
I think
Well,
that
that's
you
how
were
Giselle
supposed to be annoyed by
experiences
it.
life.
Like, I think that was the point, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It accomplished its purpose.
Okay.
Start follow the stick.
Yeah.
Giselle.
And then as I'm leaving, I'm just like, if I offended you, I'm sorry, Mr. Tree.
He will wave his branches. Giselle will wave.
Throw another acorn at you.
Actually,
we're also. I would also have.
Hmm?
We'd also what?
I would also have said that we were very
you
of
appreciate it. Okay.
the help of Sen and Mary's help.
They will nod and they will wish you a safe journey. Melanie, I need you to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Oh boy.
I'm getting tripped by some branches, or I guess roots.
You avoid the roots.
Jesus
Honestly,
Christ!
you just try to make friends, and you just throwing acorns at people. I'm gonna have Bittersweet plant this, and then we're gonna have a tiny little tree in our backyard. I want to name it Groot. I don't know why. I've never heard it before.
I would actually love for that tree to become a big tree very quickly, if we can when we get home, Bittersweet.
I can do my best.
Wonderful.
Yeah, Mel, let's work on those listening skills.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
anyway, this one time there was this basilisk,
Nope.
and that one right there, that person beside me, decided to just loot it. Notice it was still a basilisk. It was just live, and they just tried to loot it. And I tell her the story of the shiny red rocks on the basilisk that our party decided to just loot while it was still alive.
Ronny
What?
doesn't listen. Ronny
Am I
zones
remembering
out.
that correctly?
Yeah,
not
there were some
a little
rubies
bit.
on the wall. It turned out to be an ooze.
Oh, it was the ooze. The basilisk were in the room.
Yeah, the basilisk were
Okay.
sleeping in a room.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, when did this happen?
Okay,
It
I
sounds
was
plausible,
It's
but
just making two things into one thing, just smashing them together.
yeah, I was just smushing the fight together. I mean, it's
To be fair, it's probably how Melanie would have remembered and told the story.
Yeah, this just really makes it more realistic.
it really does.
So you're telling me that there's oozes that look like rubies? What?
Ronny makes a point of not listening.
Did Timber didn't say how old he was, right?
Timber never mentioned how old he
Yeah.
was. But
So,
you get
yeah,
the
so-
feeling that he was pretty damn old.
Yeah. Like as they're walking, Bittersweet is just like, how old do you think that tree was?
Extremely.
Pretty old.
If I'd hazard a guess, probably in the thousands to potentially thousands. I don't know, Bittersweet. You got a good look at it. Maybe you could
I
guess.
can make a nature check,
Sure.
Yeah.
which is I'm actually not proficient in nature, so
That's a pretty
that's
good
really
roll.
as good as it'll ever get.
Judging by you know rings on trees, and judging by the width of the tree, maybe roughly 4,000.
Mhm. So Bittersweet thinks about that for a second, and then they say, someday, if I am very lucky, I might live to see 500. Some of the oldest in my clan were approaching that age. I cannot imagine living for longer than that.
I mean, to be fair, I can't imagine living for longer than 100, but...
If you reach 20th level, you might find out.
Well, actually, Bittersweet isn't going to
No,
be able to
I
do
never
that.
will.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because you took a
Barbarian
dip.
dip, yeah.
Mm.
No immortality for you.
Nope.
Well, basically immortality. Especially with the Fearbulk. Oof.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna be alive for a long time, anyways. Like all things willing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, pretty much. Hopefully, we
Yeah.
don't all die when we go to kill Sinestra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, they say that, and then they look at Ronnie, and they say it's like, and still, I am more than twice your age, but you know more than me. All time is relative.
We'll go with that. I think when your knees get bad, you just pay attention more because you gotta distract yourself from the pain and the pops.
Well, I like this theory.
Okay, so you guys travel on. And actually, for 2 days, with rests in between, of course,
Yeah.
you don't really encounter any danger as the seemingly dowsing stick is guiding you to Samaustra. There are certain areas that the stick deliberately turns you around and walks in different directions as you are headed out of the Moonbrush.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain patches of the forest that looked quite appealing with its golden glades and clear pond waters. There are areas where it avoids, where the flowers seem to smell sweeter for some reason. All of this, it just guides you far, far away from, until you reach what you see in the distance is was the ruins of a once great city. Its towers crumbling, being claimed by creepers and different ivies. There are trees that are literally sticking out of roofless houses, and there was once a wall to this once great city, which have deteriorated considerably. There in the distance, you think is Selmaustra. It looks like you would have to cross a small river in order to do so, and there is a bridge. I would like everybody to make perception checks.
Is this
Okay.
site-based?
Yes, it is site-based.
Damn.
Bittersweet's just so horny at trees that he doesn't notice anything. They don't notice anything else.
Listen, if
Horny
you met a
at
thing that was
tree.
4,000 years old and still
No.
sentient,
No, I'm just thinking of like all these trees growing up through the buildings, and you're just like, yes, nature everywhere.
Horny
But
at
I'm also just
trees.
Okay.
I think Bittersweet is like me because like if I've seen like if I ever saw a whale in real life, I think I would cry. And I think Bittersweet's the same way.
I think Melanie is just too young to appreciate how, because she's pretty young still.
How old is Melanie?
Let me scroll down. 35.
I was gonna say, I think you're actually
She's
older
the same
than
age as Ronnie.
a lot of...
Yeah, but she's also a half elf, so
Still 35 years.
Yeah, Zaitari's...
Are you 35 or were you younger because you don't want your brother to be 40?
oh yeah, that's right. Shit, I didn't change that. I think I'm 25. We're gonna go with 25
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds a lot closer to
Melanie.
because
what I thought you were. Also, Tilda is 25 too, so
Zaitari is 29 now.
Bittersweet is the oldest of all of you.
Raine's a baby. Hard to believe. 23.
Bittersweet's 98.
I mean, but in fearable years, you might as well be like a late teenager, right?
It's not,
It's not elf years. It's a little different.
yeah.
Oh, it is? Okay. So it's probably more like 20s or 30s.
Roughly equivalent to like 30s, I would think.
Okay.
Like 500
Yeah, I don't know
is
why.
the max that that Fearbolts can
okay.
live. Realistically, Bittersweet's probably going to be more like 390.
Yeah, I don't know why. I thought Fearbolts had near equivalent to elf lifespans.
They still live a long ass time.
All right. So let me see how obvious this is going to be. It's pretty obvious for one of them. So you guys are at the edge of the forest, and not Bittersweet.
Talking about trees.
Yeah, talking about trees, and you stop short of about to. The rod starts trying to point you in a different direction instead of the straightest path to Somelsha. And those with anybody rolling higher than the 15, which is most of you, and start to see why. The ground is literally moving in front of you. There are these very large hills between you and Somelsha.
Very large cut out.
Hills. Very large
the hills
hills.
And hills are moving?
And they're moving. Kind of like as if a creature was taking a breath.
Do the hills also have eyes?
Have eyes.
When you look, what you blink your eyes for a few minutes, not quite believing what you see. These hills belong to what looks like a giant hooved creature with
Oh my god, is it a Tarrasque?
long horns and a
Are you telling me that the hills are alive?
Yes. The hills are
Sound of music?
well, not with the sound of music. You hear
More like the sound of screaming.
no,
No shit.
you hear a deafening
This is us.
you hear a deafening
It's a fucking cow.
There's not just one though. There are probably 10 of these guys.
Okay, are we on one?
You are not on one. The stick stopped you short of one.
Thank God.
Ronnie wants to get down on the ground and put his ear to the ground to see if he can like discern more about like, are they moving or are they just kind of like, are they doing that thing they do where they like start stamping their feet when they're getting ready to charge? Because I don't know if we can see all of them.
Yeah, you can put your ear to the ground and make like an investigation check.
Oh boy, I'm so good at those.
You're not sure. Like there's a lot of rumbling. It could just be breathing rumbling. It could be the ones that you see currently are kind of just resting. Kind of on that in that position where they're like they're laying on the ground. Just chilling out. But you do see a couple that are moving, just slowly grazing on really, really tall plants. Like literally taking the tops of trees and just going down and eating it like a head of broccoli. And these typically, they look more like your typical longhorn cattle.
Bittersweet is looking at them in awe.
And they are massive.
It's a lot of sausages.
That's a lot of steak.
They're so big.
But they don't, as far as you can tell, Ronnie, they don't seem to notice your presence. Or it's either don't notice, maybe they don't care. You
Well,
are
they should go around.
you are literally like a hoof size to them.
All right. Well,
Do you think I could be that big?
If you try
Maybe-
hard enough,
yeah, maybe one day, Bittersweet.
if you eat enough spinach.
I don't think that's how spinach works.
What do
We're
you
not
know?
gonna
You're a
know
child.
until I try.
Okay.
Let's go around. We don't want them stampeded.
Yeah, I look at the branch. All right, branch.
We could
Keep
just
us
go
going.
over.
Nope.
Okay. I meant fly over top, not like walk on. Obviously.
We're getting near a city. I don't think it would be wise to go up into the air where we're fully exposed.
Okay.
Well, the branch has done well for us so far. It has kept us from walking on to one of these creatures, so I say we keep trusting it.
Okay.
That's fine with me.
We follow the branch.
Okay. You follow the branch, and it starts taking you around said cows.
Yes.
It's very clear when it's walking you parallel to the cows that it's going to take a while. These cows take up a lot of land, literally. Zaitari, I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, giant cow farts.
Friendly reminder, I do have the amulet of non-detection
Mm-hmm.
on my body.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Okay.
this is more likely to be about the farts.
I was about to say, what does the non-detection have to do with
If
a
somebody's
constitution?
if somebody's targeting me remotely, that would require them to scry on me.
Would be a charisma check
Listen,
Or
I'm just
intelligence
saying. I'm just
check.
or a
giving
charisma
a
save.
friendly
Also,
reminder.
I would know because I can see ethereal plane and invisible things, so I'd see sensors if someone was scrying on you.
Anyways, I got a 12.
Okay.
Darrett, do we get pooped on, Darrett?
No, you don't get pooped on.
I'm sure we're being ambushed.
Everyone gets pink eye.
Ugh.
No.
I need everybody to roll a perception check.
Is this
Again?
vision?
Yep.
Me too.
Yes, you too. Okay.
Oh, I'm rolling like hot garbage.
Ugh. Fucking hell.
It's because you're not insulting roll 20 like you had before, and then you were
You know,
rolling 21.
I thought roll 20 had gotten over that, but apparently not.
No, it's still a
All right,
masochist.
Ronnie.
Masochist sadist.
It's masochist.
Masochist? Okay.
So Melanie, Raine, Ronnie, you catch this for a brief second. So there is a flash of what you think are like blackened veins on Zaitari's throat, but they disappear. It's just a brief second.
The absolute shit.
Zaitari.
And what happened to me?
For you, you felt like you were fighting off something, like you were clearing your throat of like a nasty, as if a popcorn kernel went down the wrong tube.
Mm-hmm.
That's the feeling you were clearing your throat of. But
Okay.
you haven't been eating anything, you haven't been drinking anything. It's just appeared, like
Yeah,
it just
I'll just-
manifested.
Let me take a look at you real quick.
Why? I just have a little bit of a cough.
Yeah, I'm a healer. Let me do some healing.
You're
Can I do a medicine
there
check?
is-
Yeah.
Does
This
he
is
hurt? Does
black,
the enemy's been
Zaitari.
affected?
Well, I mean,
Fixed.
sometimes I have a little bit of scarring.
red and white.
So you're looking at her throat, and There is a scar there. You just can make out that there are like the tiniest of capillaries, like just in the dermis layer, are black near the scar.
Is it anything I've seen before?
With our medicine check, nothing that you have ever seen before.
I think whatever happened might be magical. I've seen plenty of ailments working on ships, but I don't recognize this. It might be a curse of some kind or a magically inflicted disease. If someone with more arcane attuned eyes wants to take a look, I can point it out to you.
Well, I mean, technically, I am sort of cursed. I mean, I can't. Eva stole my singing voice.
All right. Well, you got some weird shit happening to your throat, so I'd like someone else to take a look at it so we can figure out a way to fix it.
Oh, well, we're not going to be able to fix it without getting my voice back.
You don't know that. Let's look, and then I can look at my repertoire because I'm a goddamn healer. It's what I fucking do.
Listen, Ronnie.
Holy shit.
And he like pats your cheek really rough.
Listen, Ronnie. I've dealt with this for many years now. It's not coming
Without
back.
me here.
Hey,
Miss Tilda,
I'm
would you
going to
please take a
take a-
look?
I'm going to take a guess that whatever's happening with my throat right now is related to Eva's ultimate
Darling,
plan of killing the
Maybe
Raven Queen.
stop talking and you'll stop coughing so much.
Darling,
Listen.
Miss Tilda, we please look.
yes, just
It's fine. Look,
uh,
look at you, Tilda. You look at me while I explain to Ronnie that
Ronnie's just gonna cover your mouth. Just put his hand over your mouth.
I will teleport away from you.
That's fine.
All right. I will use dark transport to move away from
and
Ronnie.
also hurt Ronnie in the process.
No, not dark transport. My shadow jaunt. That's what I meant. Which is my misty step that I can
There's
do.
too
once
many
the short
variations
rest.
on. There's too many variations on shaded movement.
Yeah.
Well, listen, it's just an ability that I have. It's just misty step. But yeah, so I move away and I say, Ronnie, if you come near me and do that again, I swear to God, I will teleport you off this plane of existence.
darling, why?
Can we please not fight?
Yes, well, I'm trying to explain the situation of what's going on and why we're really here. Obviously, we know that Eva is trying to kill the Raven Queen. Well, I guess Sinestra is technically. But I was the first test in stealing my voice. And in stealing my voice, Eva has gone on to steal the literal physical hearts out of many of the Raven Queen's actual followers. And part 1 to killing the Raven Queen is killing the followers of the Raven Queen. This is probably related to that. Does that make sense?
Why are you so resistant to me trying to fix it then?
You can fix it. I'm just trying to explain what's happening.
I'm trying to fix it. I just need
Ron.
someone else to take a look
And
at it.
I think what Zaitari is trying to say is that it's not exactly something that she believes can be fixed.
Ronnie.
Until we try.
However, I will look for you if Zaitari will let me.
I will let you. Ronnie is not getting near me.
Very good.
I'll make a note of that.
I'd kind of like tilt. I tilt Zaitari's head back, and I will cast True Seeing on myself
Mm-hmm.
and examine. Like, I didn't see it, so I will just kind of examine her throat.
Okay, you do see
In
the
a-
you see the black capillaries near the scar.
Huh.
Those are there. What the rest of you had seen was you had seen from that area more prominent veins going
Like a pulse.
like a pulse. Yeah, sort of
Yeah.
like that.
Ronnie explains it from 30 feet away.
Hmm.
Are you familiar with that at all?
What do I have to roll to see if I'm familiar with that?
Roast an Arcana check for me. This is your
Arcana.
yeah. Doing a closer examination, you're getting hints of necromantic magic.
I was about to say, do I have to do detect magic to?
This is a roll you don't need, like a spell you don't have to cast. You could easily tell that from this.
Hmm. Well, there's definitely hints of necromancy. That I don't think were there before, or perhaps they've flared up again.
Nope, this definitely hasn't happened. I'm just going to take a guess. We now are on the clock, as they say.
I agree. We should get into the city as quickly as possible.
Yes, and then get back out of the city as quickly as
Mhm.
possible. Hopefully, with somebody that can serve as a guide and get us there really fast.
Hopefully, yes.
What kind of spells can Bittersweet clear? What level?
I can do up to 5th level now.
Oh, okay.
All right. So you guys continue with the stick around the giant cattle.
Yeah.
Which see, it takes you 3 hours to find a way for the stick to find a safe way around the cattle. And while this is happening, you just see them like in the process of getting up, eating trees like broccoli as if they were broccoli, swatting what looks like giant birds. To you, they're giant birds. The cows, they're like gnats out of the air with their tails. You do see a
Oh,
pair.
look, there goes a rock.
More or less,
Imagine the size of a T-bone on those guys.
more or less, that's what it is. You do see there is a very tense moment where two of the bulls lock horns, and the ground shakes, much like what KK probably experienced. But eventually you do make your way around said cows and bulls, and you come probably within 30, probably 50, 60 feet within the approaching the walls of the city when the dowsing stick stops completely.
Okay. I guess we've arrived.
Yes,
Okay.
it appears to be so.
I will stick the stick into my bag of holding.
Okay.
Make a note of it in my inventory. That is very long.
I think this is a good place to stop. It is midnight here, and it's been about 3 hours, so you are at the entrance of Samalsha.